Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast. That is the Boxing Debate Arena. This is your host, Mr. BDA. Always glad to be here with you. And as always with me, my co-host, the one, the only King, Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sensational. Listen, guys, a lots to talk about, non-boxing included. So, want to get right down to it, all right? And we're going to be here for about an hour, maybe a little bit more, still a bit, but not too much, because again, we don't want to be doing fucking marathons all the time. So guys, if you want to join us, you know the drill. I think Butcher's already sent the adequate invitations, or the appropriate invitations. He sent out a communique to all the Boxing Debate Arena usual. So we're going to get started right now. And Bucho, I don't know, should we get down to the nitty gritty, to the story of the hour, or should we focus a little bit on the boxing first and then get down to the gossip?
Let's get the boxing out of the way first.
All right. Now, before we do that, of course, want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. The Fight Scout, Cameron Gillon, Boxing Style, Ben Cesares, Siri Lowe, Mean Machine, Boxing Kills TV, and many more to come, I am sure. The Fight Scout says, boring ass fight. Khabib's piece of shit had every chance in the ring to wreck Conor. I think he says chance. Every chance to wreck Conor in the ring, but Conor chose to just hug him until tap him out. Pathetic fight. Yeah, he did try to ground and pound him. I think it was at the end of the second round. But McGregor has some very good defense on the ground. Well, except for preventing choke. This is the second time he's been choked out. Choked out. He tapped, technically. And again, who wouldn't tap? If you get a monster like that, Khabib in your back, you know, that guy grew up in the mountains of Dagestan or whatever. You know, people get their hands caught up there if you steal something. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just throwing shit out there. Cameron Gillon says, boxing style is an uneducated in interrupting cereal eating wet wipe. Well, you didn't have to say all the other stuff. You could have just said uneducated, but I don't like the tone, Cameron. I really don't. Boxing style says, why you gotta be racist against cereal eaters? LOL. Ben Cesares says, Khabib is still energetic to leap over the cage. Yeah, he had some great implosion there. You can tell the guy works on his plyometrics. Siri Lowe says, I'm going to send Khabib over there with Trump since he'll kill all the bullies. Mean Machine says, sup people, always a pleasure. Boxing Killer says, Beterbiev versus Johnson was beautiful violence. Carnival, aka Precise Punches, says, my internet seems fine tonight. Bucho, hello all. Right back at you, Precise. Good to have you on board. Ben Cesares says, Barboza took a longer beating. Quincy Pinola says, third time. All right, so let's get down to it. The boxing first. All right, so there was, Jesus Christ, a lot of fights last night. And today as well, Bucho, over at in Japan. Let's get down to it. My pick something to talk about first, Jesse Vargas versus Delorme. I tried looking for that fight tonight in the morning, and then the rest of the day I was occupied, so I couldn't watch any boxing. So I couldn't find the fight in the morning. But what happened apparently is that Delorme and Vargas fought to a draw, and Delorme managed to knock Vargas down in the last round, and that was the extra point necessary to give him the draw. Apparently, if it wasn't for the knockdown, Vargas would have won the fight. Bucho, I can't remember which episode it was, but I said that Delorme was a tough challenge for anybody, despite having lost to Yordanis Ugas. Because if you watch Delorme fight against Crawford, he gave him a very tough fight, tactically speaking, before he got stopped. And he also beat Kareem Mayfield before Kareem Mayfield fell into that losing streak of his. And Kareem Mayfield was a very tough fighter, trained by Virgil Hunter. If you haven't ever seen Kareem Mayfield fight before, imagine Andre Ward on the inside and being dirty, but that's it. Without the defense, that's Kareem Mayfield, and so I think Vargas. I'm not surprised he struggled, but you gotta wonder. This is the second draw in a row, Bucho. Is it safe to say that Jesse Vargas might just be the Badu Jack of the welterweight division?
Yeah, man, he's not a bad boxer, but he's not a great boxer, and he's coming up with all these draws every time. I just don't think he's that good. And by the way, against Broner, man, Broner at some point was almost walking him down, remember? And I started questioning whether Jesse Vargas is actually a welterweight. Because, he's tall, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem to have that strength at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like he's an underachiever. He will be an underachiever at welterweight.
Trap Media in the chat room, shout out to Trap. He says Vargas beat Bronner. I disagree. I'm in the camp that
No.
believes Bronner beat him. I think he landed the more effective shots. I think Vargas certainly put up a very good fight, but if you ask me who I would have rather been at the end of that fight, it would have been Bronner. Then again, the question that Max Kellerman asks is who won the story of the fight? So maybe Trap Media is right. Maybe Vargas won the story of the fight. I don't know. I hope you understand that I'm kidding here, Bucho, with the story of the fight thing.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I hope people out there too in the audience know that I'm kidding. Fucking Max Kellerman. He really pissed me off with that story of the fight thing. So you think Jesse Vargas shouldn't be a welterweight? I tell you what, Bucho. It wasn't that long ago that he was fighting at 140. And let's not forget, he should have lost to Josecito Lopez about, 8 years ago? I forget which undercard of which pay-per-view they fought, but I remember Josecito Lopez putting it on him and getting robbed against Jesse Vargas. So, I mean, Vargas has quick hands. He's a good, solid professional fighter. But against the upper echelon of the 147-pound division, I don't know if he can pull off the wins. He can certainly last 12 rounds. But he already lost to Bradley. He should have lost to Bronner, in my opinion. Should have lost to Josecito Lopez. So, I mean, I don't know. Virtuoso says Conor won the story of the fight even though he tapped out. I agree. I agree with Virtuoso. I think that's what McGregor should have said after the fight. He should have said, listen, I tapped out, but I won the story of the fight. So technically, the Nevada State Athletic Commission should overturn the decision and have me as the winner. I would have said that. Why not? All right. Another thing that happened, Bucho. Did you catch the Naoya Inoue fight?
No, I saw that result, but no.
Well, I mean, listen, it wasn't a long fight. It was one round. Mm-hmm. Payano is a solid professional, and Inoue just took him out with a simple 1-2. Just a nice, simple 1-2. I'm not sold on Inoue. I think he's a bit of a weight bully, even a 118. And I think his supporters are losing their shit a little bit here and overhyping him in terms of... Because people think he's just going to walk through everybody in this tournament. He could walk through Carmona, and he did have a little bit of difficulty getting through that guy, the Puerto Rican guy that he fought on HBO. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I forget, but the one on the Superfly card. So when he starts stepping it up, he's not going to be able to look as destructive. I'm not saying he's not good. I like what I see. I absolutely love what I see. But his fans tend to get a little bit overboard. What do you think, Bucho?
I call him the Golovkin of the 120. What's 122?
118.
Sorry, 118. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Who has he fought, right?
Mm-hmm.
He passes the eye test.
Yeah, if he can definitely keep performing and applying his skills and power against the top guys in the division, I'm pretty sure he can do it. It's just that I haven't seen him do it yet, so I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. Again, there's always a reluctance from boxing fans, such as myself and Bucho, that we don't want to really jump on the bandwagon because we don't want to look like idiots.
Yeah,
so
but you can criticize him for not fighting anybody at 115.
Did you say you can or you can't?
You can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've talked about it in the past. Remember?
Yeah.
Now, but the great thing is that this tournament is going to provide him the opportunity to see if he lives up to the hype, because some of the names that are on here are sure to provide him with a little more competition. Definitely the number one guy, Zolani Tete. He's the guy that everybody expects is going to put up the most opposition, the more opposition. I'm just looking for the... All right, here we go. So we got... By the way, who's in the hangout right now?
Official boxing scorecard.
Oh, official boxing. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? Well, I came. I'll spend a bit of time with you, and then I'm going to bed. I was getting my Jordan Peterson videos fixed, and I saw the notifications. So I'm here.
So you got your pajamas on, and you're ready to go to bed. But before that, you chose to come on here and talk with us a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's
BDA, maybe we should start talking about the UFC fight first, and then move on to the boxing.
Shut up! I already started talking.
The boxing thing was the most exciting thing, and I don't know. I think people are showing up, and I see 7 dislikes for the video. They were probably expecting us to start with the Khabib McGregor fight.
Well, you know what I
We're
say to
starting
the
with
people that
fucking
you know what I
Inoue
say.
one
You know
round.
what I
Fuck,
say to
mean,
the people that gave the 7 thumbs down or dislikes.
Get down there and eat my ass.
That's right.
Get down there on your knees and eat my fucking ass.
Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks.
When I think of asses.
That's right. That's what people are at their asses. All right, listen, you know what? You're right. You put on the
Let's do
fucking
it.
title there. Hold on a second. You put on the title, you want to talk about McGregor, so let's talk about that. And if we got time, we'll talk about the boxing. Oh, we also got Trap Media on the line. Trap, are you there?
What's the Bene?
What'd you say?
So what's going on?
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't understand you. All right, listen. Butch is right. He put on the title that we're going to talk about McGregor Khabib, so let's talk about fucking McGregor Khabib. And by the way, I'm going to continue addressing Khabib as Khabib because I can't fucking spell his last name. All right,
Habib, put some respect on his name. Habib.
I will not. I'll tell you my opinion right away. Khabib, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he put on a great performance. He managed to get his second win when McGregor was starting to get his own back. So I respect the guy. What I don't respect is the shenanigans at the end. Some people say, well, you know, McGregor was talking shit, so he should be prepared to back it up after the fight. No, after the fight. Listen, if you're Khabib and you got triggered by what McGregor told you, he should have been all squashed after you fought him. You don't want to shake his hand after the fight? Fine. But don't start jumping through the octagon and start getting into fights with people, and then your entourage, your Islamic entourage, starts to get it on with people in the fucking octagon. I mean, that was just...
It sounds a bit racial.
It sounds... Well, listen, I'm making it racial. That's what we do here at the Boxing
Let's go racial, man.
Let's go racial. Listen, I'll start with facts, because he was in here first. Facts. Did you watch the UFC shenanigans, and what did you think?
Official boxing scorecard, are you there?
Yes. I said facts.
Oh yeah, sorry guys, I'm there.
Right.
Yeah, well, my streaming was fucked up, but just after the fight, I watched the fight. So, what was your question? Sorry.
Did you watch the UFC thing, and what were your opinions on the whole debacle that took place?
Well, I was rooting for McGregor, as I told you, but yeah, I was surprised. I was hoping that he's going to keep the fight, to keep fighting up, not on the ground since the beginning of the fight. So I was hoping to see him striking more, but. Me personally, that's one of the reasons I don't like UFC very much and mixed martial arts, because watching two guys laying on the ground one on top of the other for a long time is kind of boring to me. And I enjoyed the other fight, the fight that happened just before the main event, more because there was more striking and it was more exciting. But speaking of Khabib McGregor, well, I knew Khabib was really good with wrestling. That's his main thing. But I was kind of surprised that he did that well. I mean, he mauled McGregor in the second round, and he won deservingly. And then the circus after the fight, you already told what I was thinking. I mean, I guess that those guys are like taking all the insults seriously, but come on, whole world knew that McGregor was doing that first because he's a jerk, he's fool, but also to make scandals and sell the pay-per-view. And yeah, I agree with you. All their problems were supposed to finish in the octagon. So I heard that he jumped out of octagon because McGregor McGregor's friends were insulting him from out of the octagon. But yeah, it was really stupid from Khabib.
Yeah, you know, you bring up the good point about the whole shenanigans and Conor being a loudmouth, because really, and Bucho is the one who brought this up when we were talking earlier in the day. He says Dana White's the one that enabled this whole thing when he didn't suspend or punish McGregor when he started attacking Khabib's team a couple of months ago when they were in that bus. He set a whole precedent, and now all of a sudden he's going to punish, or he's going to allow the Nevada State Athletic Commission to punish Khabib. I think that's really just no standards at all here. And then again, that's Dana White. I mean, what do you want from him? All right, let's go to what?
Can I add something? Sorry, just quickly. I get what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you, man. But on the other hand, he had to. Okay, first of all, after the fight, at the post-fight press conference, he said that Conor for that bus incident paid a couple of meals as well. And then you have to look at it this way. First of all, the fight would not happen. He was not more severely punished by Dana White, because in that case there would be no Khabib Conor fight that we were watching.
That's right.
I think that's also part of the reason why he was not excluded from the UFC or suspended. That's the reason. And then, as I said, the things Khabib did was just useless. He did it after the fight was over. So that's all. Sorry for cutting you off.
No problem. I'm glad we got your input on this. Let's now get to Trap Media. Trap, did you watch the fight, and what are your opinions on the whole aftermath of this whole fight?
Yeah, I watched the fight. I lost some money on the fight, but that's all right. We're going to be good. First of all, I want to say everybody who done disliked this video, the 8 haters, get out the room. Smash that button. Show BDA and Boo show some love. But man, you changed these guys' colors and they kicked out the sport, prison time, and a little bit something like that. But look, for real. I mean, I feel him. I understand what he's saying, but I also understand. I can see it from both sides. This is a professional environment. You can't be conducting yourself like that, scaring the fans, jumping into the crowd like you don't know what the hell going on. Then for Brendan Schaub to call this, man, that's crazy, because he said he felt it was going to be a brawl. You had fans fighting outside the stands, fans fighting in the food lines. You just can't conduct yourself like this when you want to be a champion, and you are in position to become bigger than the sport by beating McGregor, to be, kid friendly. And you can't really market you to kids now, because now you gonna be portrayed. Yeah, Conor called you a terrorist. He playing with your faith and all like that. But you confirm all those negative stereotypes about Muslims when you do something like that. So you gotta. A part of being a champion is you have to learn how to conduct yourself under hostile situations. You got to know how to move amongst sharks, and doing that is the wrong way to go about something. You could have did, even if he said he wanted to change the culture of the UFC because he felt it was getting too over the top, too arrogant with Conor being the face. But you could have just said that in the press conference, like, I'm here, we're going to do it in a more humble way, I'm standing on my faith, inshallah, talk all this Muslim-ish, and let them know that this how you got there. You stay humble, staying with your parents and your discipline, and all that is what pushed you through. But jumping in the crowd to try to send a message is the wrong way to go about it if you're trying to change the edge, because what you did kind of erased everything. People gonna forget everything Conor did and said because you went on an action. It was, that's crazy. You can't do that. You don't want to be sitting front row. You paid all this money for the tickets and a brawl break out next to you. I mean, that'll make people not want to go to fight. So you could have hurt the brand of the UFC right there. It's a better way to handle it. I think he got too emotional. When you're a champ, you don't react like that.
Right. Yeah, very good points, man. Very good points. And I will say this, that, fucking Khabib, like you said, he's a champ, and he ruined his night by losing his cool and completely getting out of control. They didn't even put the belt around him. Now they're talking about maybe stripping him of the belt. So
because he was planning on retiring too. So I'm not sure if that plays a factor in it. And damn, my thought just left. I'll come back and say my thought just left my head.
All right, I want to get to precise on this one, but just before we do, real quick, people in the chat room, Virtuoso says the announcers, especially Joe Rogan as well as Dana White, should spare us the fake outrage after all the shit they let Conor get away with. Absolutely. Listen, this is fighting. Dominic Cruz said that last night as well during the telecast as the mini brawl was going on. He said, "Listen, this is fighting sports." Things. I mean, he's not condoning it, but he was saying that it's. We shouldn't be too surprised to watch it. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan's crying a river about, oh, this is gonna be the worst thing for MMA. Shut up. It's gonna happen. Like, this type of shit happens.
Fucking crap.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to Precise. Precise, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me fine?
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
Crystal clear.
Oh well, it's on then.
All right. What are your thoughts on the fight? I'm imagining you got great things to say.
Let me just preface what I'm about to say with this. I'm a casual, okay? I don't watch a whole bunch of MMA, just the big fights. But I have an okay idea of what's going on. And I'm just a little bit sick and tired of all the hypocrisy and the bullshit. Because look, instead of talking about a fight, whether it was great or not to you personally, it was a very good fight, okay? If you like MMA, you like all of it, it was a very good fight, fought at a high level. So maybe if we didn't focus so much, and I know it's difficult and I know it should be talked about, but maybe if instead of focusing so much on the brawl after the fight, we instead focus on the fight itself first, maybe that would change people's perception of the whole ordeal, and it would take some of the attention off the brawl. If that's really the ugly side of it, well, let's talk about the pretty side first and foremost, right? But we're not doing that. We're talking about the brawl first and foremost because, well, that's really what the people want to see. So I'm kind of sick and tired of, like some people said in the chat room, the fake indignation and this fake outrage. Give me a break, man. This UFC is lapping. Hold on, man. I ain't done talking.
No.
You can have your say when I'm done, bro. But please allow me. Thank you. So see, I can't stand the fucking.
So you were saying the fake indignation. You were talking about the fake.
All right. So you were saying
the fake indignation.
Yeah. So let me not be a hypocrite. Let me talk about the fight a little bit. I thought it was a good fight. Yeah, I think Conor made a mistake by coming forward, but maybe that's the emotion. The way he's been able to win his fights because he's extremely one-dimensional, and he's been able to take advantage of his reach and stepping back and countering, especially being a southpaw. That left hand was really been money for him. Instead of doing that, I think he maybe got a little too hyped up and underestimated Khabib's boxing skill, like most boxing fans or fans in general, and came after him. And Khabib was doing a job of countering him, and that allowed him to close the distance and put him on his ass because Conor was coming to him. So I thought he made a mistake there. For all this talk about Conor being the greatest striker, arguably, in the history of MMA, I think we're forgetting John Bones Jones. I think he got exposed in this fight a little bit for the one-dimensional fighter that he is. And if he's such a great striker, what the fuck is he doing getting knocked down and getting cracked with hard right hands from somebody who's supposedly a shitty striker? So I think that needs to be reevaluated. I think he got served up a bunch of tailor-made opponents. Throughout his career, he got hyped up. He rode the UFC money train, so he was a little bit protected. In my casual, not knowing shit fan opinion, but he's a good fighter. I think he's going to be able to come back from this. But Khabib's just, he's just a better fighter, or he was on the night, and he did his thing. And even though I don't support, I don't think it was a good look for him to do what he did. I think most of us would have done the same thing in that moment, and now maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. To get
let me address something. Yeah, let me address something you just said. You made a very good point about how we're all focusing on the juicy, salacious details, the aftermath of the fight, which is what the theatrics of it all. Now, Trap Media, the scandal. Now, Trap, you're saying that Precise is being an emotional bitch. Now, I gotta ask you, what he said was actually, it seems to me like it's the opposite of being emotional. He doesn't want to get involved in the aftermath of the fight. So why do you think he's being? Why would you say he's being emotional?
You know, Precise is always in his feelings. You know, you say any little thing that he disagree with, he gets all disgruntled and wants to pout and run out the room. All I'm saying is this. This is not what you want in a professional sport. You know, if you just fighting in the backyard or something like that and somebody say something to you and you want to run over there and hit them too, you know, go ahead. But we talking about millions of dollars on our line, and we understand it's a certain way you conduct yourself. We seen that with Ron Artest when he ran in the crowd. You know, they coming in from a aggressive environment as well. But, you know, this is not what you do at this level. This is why you're getting paid the big bucks. If you want to just fight any and everybody, get out the sport. This is not the time and place for that. But all I'm saying is you can't just focus on the performance, because it's like you getting all A's, but you get up and slap your teacher. Nobody's gonna be thinking about your grades at that point, because you gotta criticize the behavior at that point, because you got kids looking up to these people and the kids watching this, and you don't want your kids behaving like this. And just because they had a great performance, no, we're not getting ready to focus on your great performance right now. We got to address what you did wrong so you don't do this again. And then you want to prevent other people from doing this in the future. You don't want to set a precedent for this type of behavior, or the type of behavior that Conor put on. Conor should have been in more trouble than he was from the beginning anyway.
Precise, you want to answer back to that?
Yeah, I think
Put your big boy pants on, buddy.
You done? Anything else you want to say before I start talking? Okay, I didn't think so. You know, instead of talking about me personally, I think it would serve you a lot more if you actually focus on the argument I was making, because you failed terribly to address what I was actually saying. And that's your bad, because you're getting into your feelings because your boy got whooped, you lost some money, and you know, I'm giving the other guy credit. So instead of talking about me personally, just talk about what I said and concentrate on what it is I'm actually saying. I don't condone what he did. I think my point was, well, if we don't like that, hold on, man, let me talk, and then you could respond.
There you go, your feelings.
Precise, just keep talking. No, just keep talking, and we'll get to trap afterwards.
See, you just keep making me lose my train of thought, man, because just can't handle the heat, I suppose. My point was this. You know, if we don't want to concentrate on the bad, let's concentrate on the good. It's simple as that. And I said I'm going to address what he did in another you know, when I get a chance to speak again. But I wanted some people to get in on this and you know, have their say. So that's basically it. You didn't get the point I was making, but you sure as hell made yours. So congratulations.
Trap, you want to respond?
I know what he's saying, but everybody on this panel know, if we putting big money up like this, and you may have had more people and more casuals watching than ever, more kids watching than ever. These guys are role models. It's just not the type of behavior you want. Now, maybe they're hypocritical because Dana White, you know, allowed it with Conor McGregor, allowed him to come in and do what he did with the buzz. He got a slap on the wrist for that. So we can say that they're hypocritical. But for the message that Khabib said he's trying to push, which is he doesn't want the trash talking, he doesn't want that, you know, that Conor McGregor type arrogance. This is the wrong way to push that type of message, because the only thing people are going to say is, hey, man, you seen that UFC guy jump out in the crowd last night? Nobody's going to get into this is a man of faith. Nobody's going to get into, you know, he's still a humble guy staying with his parents. Nobody's going to get, you know, into all of those deep details. The only thing most of these kids who are on the internet, they're just going to see that clip, be like, oh, man, that guy crazy. But that's not what he wants his brand to be. Now, if he wanted his brand to be that wild, crazy guy, you know, cool, that's fine. That just fits what he's doing. And it's going to be a build up for the next fight and everything like that. But he doesn't want his brand to be that. And we can't just say, like, oh, we just got to focus on the fight, because nobody's talking about the fight. Everybody's talking about this. I got people who never watched the UFC calling me like, man, that stuff was crazy. I should have watched the fight. I seen the clip, so on, so on, so on.
Trev,
so just the casual
I don't understand. I don't understand then what the disagreement is between you and Precise, because your points overlap. He's saying that
he's not paying any attention to what I'm saying. Basically, he's just trying to make his own point. That's all that's happening. Honestly,
no, I clearly started with I understand what he's saying. Then I went into my point.
All right, well, listen.
So he's not really addressing what I'm saying anyway, so it is.
All right, listen, let's fucking move on from this whole thing, because I got to address Recognize, who just walked in here. Recognize, are you there?
What's up, BDA? What's up,
What's up?
everybody?
Listen,
What's the business?
I want to get to.
Hello.
Did you watch the fights? The MMA fight?
No, but
All right, so
I caught it. I caught the end because I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see Conor go to sleep. I wanted to see Conor go to sleep. You know,
right.
Which I'm very happy about that. You know, he talked a lot of shit, and which I respect. I respect the man talking a lot of shit and then trying to back it up. I usually just root for guys that talk the kind of stuff he does. I usually root against them, and so it was a nice ending. I like Khabib, and the brawl. I was a little confused of what the hell was going on. I wasn't aware of a brawl until my brother, who's a big MMA fan, texted me, "Did you see that crazy brawl?" And so then I was like, "Oh wow, there was a brawl." So I looked for a video. I looked for a video to see if there was a brawl. Some guy had it, a short clip of it, and I don't know how it started. All I saw was this guy in a red shirt climb into the octagon, and he did something. I think he may have punched Conor McGregor with a shot to the belly, and Conor McGregor was like whimpering away, like he was scared, or I don't know what was going on. So I know there was obviously bad blood. He was calling Khabib a terrorist, him being a Chechnyan, and Chechnyan, a group from Chechnya. Right. A group in Chechnya did do a terrorist attack some 13 years ago, something like that in Russia.
He was talking about his Islam too. That's why he was saying
right. And plus him being of Islamic faith and all that. But I don't know. You guys tell me who started the fight, who started that brawl. Excuse me. That's what I want to ask.
Khabib. It was Khabib who jumped. It was Khabib because he jumped over the fence and started fighting Conor McGregor's camp.
Yeah, the trainer. He
wanted so this is so after he chokes him out, right? Because
then he starts. He starts exchanging words with Conor McGregor's camp, and then he runs over the fucking fence and jumps over it, and then
Okay. You
see that's what
I didn't see that.
That's what interests me about this whole fucking altercation, which is that, let's face it. Well, you know, Trap Media brought up that 2004, I think it was, the mini riot in Detroit between, I think it was the Pacers and
and by the way, basketball. There was Ron Artest.
Right. And by the way, I was wondering when Trap Media was going to bring up basketball, and it was only about like 10 minutes into the show. So, but anyway, the thing is this
was the craziest brawl ever. I'm sorry, BDA,
but you see, that's the thing. They were replaying it.
The whole arena almost got into a fight. Just basically. The whole arena ended up almost fighting each other. But go ahead.
And guess what? They kept replaying that shit, just like they're gonna do with this one. So that's what irks me. It's the hypocrisy of when they go, "Oh my God, this is horrible. We don't condone it." Meanwhile, they're counting the money in the back of all the hype. Yeah, I mean, just be honest and say, listen.
This makes the next fight even bigger. When they
should there be a next fight though? But should there be a rematch?
Hold up. Wasn't this supposed to hurt the UFC brand? Just a second ago, I heard that this is hurting the UFC, and now it's going to make the rematch bigger.
It's hurting the kids or something. We can just say Trump. Trump said that, man.
Oh no, it's a bad example for the kids. It's definitely a bad example for the kids. But
fighting is a good example. The kids should be watching the UFC.
I was gonna say that.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something.
It's nothing wrong with fighting if it's in a controlled environment like this. We all understand.
Wait, can I say something real quick? I just want to say something about that. I don't mean to cut anyone off, but boxing, any combat fighting, usually are for young men who are of very high testosterone, love to compete. The reason why, and this is just from my experience, I've boxed, I've kickboxed. I was not a typical, nice boy that... I was a good kid. Don't get me wrong. I was, but
of course, he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
I just love to fight. I just personally love to fight. You know, like I've always been. Let's just put it this way. I'm not saying I was a troublemaker, but if you wanted to get down, I had a smile on my face, you know, and I was always ready for a fight. So this whole thing about being, you know, an example for the kids. Look, kids that are watching boxing love violence, or the MMA. They love violence. They either like to look at it, or they like to look at it and participate in it. And the most...
Hold on, who's got their mic on? Please mute your mics while Recognize is talking, please. All right, go ahead, Recognize.
Yes, when I talk, you guys mute your mic. Else I'm going to start whipping some ass.
Oh, yeah.
You heard me? Just picture me
you're ready
pointing
to
at
get
you
down
when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so you're saying it's a different it's normal, it's expected. It's not justified, but it's expected because these guys are fighting and they have high testosterone.
Everybody on this panel, everybody we're talking to, you have to realize you guys are not normal sports fans. You like violence. You just do. You like it. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it regardless of what you think. If a brawl happens in the outside of the ring or inside the ring, your eyes are gonna be glued to it. You're not gonna walk away and say, I can't watch this.
That's right.
If you say that, you're lying.
Now, by the way, Recognize, I wanted to ask you, while you were watching the brawl, well, hold on, Recognize, while you were watching the brawl, did it bring back memories of you getting into fights at Madison Square Garden, or?
Yes, it did.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it. So when you were watching that,
when I got banned from Madison Square Garden for nothing.
Exactly, for nothing, for just being you. When you were watching that brawl,
just being me.
When you were watching that brawl from last night, I bet you were watching it on a whole other level. Like, you were seeing intricacies that we can't see, right? Like, oh, that guy's not punching well. That guy should have been hitting him on the fucking balls.
I was like, come on, man, what are you doing, man? You gotta duck into that punch, duck in.
That's right.
You know, street fight is different from fighting in the octagon. Can't be afraid to go in.
That's right. No, Trap, you were gonna say something.
Enough.
Was that?
I said Conor wasn't aggressive enough. He didn't set the tone and make him respect his power early on. I just felt he was a little bit too timid coming out.
Well, listen,
my takedowns. I'm
an ultimate casual fan when it comes to the MMA, UFC, whatever. But I think I have a good understanding of fighting, and I knew that McGregor being off that long from that kind of fighting, specifically that kind of fighting, which is way more intense than boxing. I knew that he was going to lose. I didn't know much about Khabib, but when I was listening to my brother, you know, who's an MMA fan, he loves it, he follows it, he knows the names that I wouldn't be able to tell you who they are. And he was certain. He was like, no, he's whipping his ass. Like, are you sure? No, just do this. McGregor's done. He's gonna beat him.
Well, I will say this.
The only thing that shocked my brother, real quick, who's not a casual fan, he's a hardcore MMA fan. The only thing that's shocking to him is that he was able to go 4 rounds.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people
shocked him.
Yeah, people expected him to guess. Go ahead, Trap.
But yeah, getting back to the youth, this would be the equivalent on a high school level. You at your wrestling match, and the parents in the crowd talking crazy. You know, the cousins stare at the opponent, they talking crazy. So you whoop the guy you fighting ass. You whoop his ass. So you've been hearing them talk crazy the whole fight. So next thing you know, you in the crowd whooping on them. That's not what you want. That's all I'm saying. Kids will reenact what they see somebody they look up to do. Now, not everybody who just in this. Some people like it for the art. You know, you can appreciate it once you're in it. I boxed, I wrestle. Some people like it for the art. It's not just about random aggression. Now, in a street fight, we know somebody talking on the side, you be like, shit, you can get it too. You come out here next, or you run up on them next, you know, however you want to do it. But this is not a street fight. That's all I'm saying. And when you got kids watching, they might just like Power Rangers. A 3-year-old might be watching it with his pops. That's not, you know, what you do. That's not how you carry it at this level. You know, you talking about the top of the top, the best of the best, probably one of the most viewed shows, you know, of the time. And we're talking about what's going on at the end, as is everybody else. This is the first time they ever heard of a Khabib, and it's in this light. And he's not that type of guy. It's not like he's saying that he's just street guy and you're going to play with him. No, he just is deep in his faith. And a lot of them, you know, if you know people who are of the Islamic background, a lot of them don't play about that. It's not like Christianity where you can put Jesus on South Park and everybody's okay with it. When they try to do that with Muhammad, they got death threats and all that. They don't play about that stuff. So
it was they're violent people.
Yeah,
no,
I think that's what he's saying.
No, I'm not saying they're violent. No, I'm
okay,
not
so you're saying genetically
they're gonna stand on what they believe on behind their faith. It's not just because they trying to be some tough guy. Like when you hear Big Baby and Deontay Wilder talking, or Big Baby talking to AJ, he's talking from a street level, like, oh no, they're not really about that. No, he's not coming at it from that approach. He is, this is my God, this is my religion, this is my faith, and you know what they're willing to do behind that.
Well, I will say this, Trap. I will say this about the whole mentality of what went on in that fight, is that if you're Khabib, he is a monster. He will grab you and he will not get off of you until the job is done. So he obviously has talent. He obviously got to where he is through hard work. So I respect that. What I do not respect, and what would worry me if I were somebody, a close friend or family member, is how easily he was taken out of his frame. Because you would have thought that he would have known and expected that McGregor was going to talk shit to him. And when somebody, I'll put it to you this way: if somebody comes up to me and I know they're a shit talker, and they start talking shit to me, I'm not going to be bothered by it too much because I know what he's trying to do. Khabib should have known that from the get-go. And so he can talk all he wants about being humble and living with his parents and doing the dishes and all that, but he lost control. He got out of the ring. He ruined a big part of his career now. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe nothing. Maybe he's just going to get slapped on the wrist. But that's all I'm saying, is that from a psychological standpoint, he failed here. He won the fight, but he did not win the story of the fight. As Max Kellerman would say, he lost control. And to me, that's a big loss right there.
That goddamn story.
That's
of the
right.
Fight.
Yeah.
The story of the fight.
And we see people overreact like this all the time. We thinking about Meek Mill's artist Lil Snoop. They was playing a video game. The other guy, they talking crazy, and the guy ended up killing them behind it. Like it's that same type of mentality. You have to be able to conduct yourself properly at this height. When you at this level, it's different if nobody watching it in the backyard. I mean, you still should, but when you at this level and you on your way to being one of the faces, and this is the first time a lot of people are going to be introduced to you, I just don't think this is the way, especially with you saying that you want to move in a different direction than Conor. This is kind of the extreme of Conor.
Well, listen, that's what I'm saying. It's a childish mentality. It was a childish mentality. He conducted himself like a child.
Exactly.
I still think the story is what the spectators make of it, right? You could concentrate on whatever you want. You're gonna make the story. I mean, he gave you plenty of material. You're gonna choose what excites you most, what makes you wanna, the stuff that makes you want to yap. So it is what it is. I just wanted to address a couple of points that were made earlier. Clearly, it wasn't a controlled environment. Things got out of control. Secondly, Dagestan and Chechnya are not the same country. The reason why you guys are confusing it is probably because I think they were at war not that long ago. So they're not one and the same. And since we're talking about Islam and Muslims, UFC has to take some responsibility, and I think Conor McGregor has to take some responsibility for the racial slurs and attacks. If he was fighting a Black American and he called them, yeah, and if he was calling them certain animal names, you know what I mean? Dana White would have stepped in and he would have said something to him. They would have silenced him. They would have been like, whoa, this is way out of line. The media would have gotten into it. And even though they tell us we evolved from monkeys, right? We are great apes. It's not okay to call certain people monkeys and apes, even though we're all apes, supposedly. So to call him a dirty Dagestani, rat, and to say he's a terrorist and all that, those were very offensive things to say, and certain demographics, I suppose, are protected species, and that would never be allowed to happen. Nobody would ever allow that to happen. But because the United States is racist against Muslims, and I'm not saying Muslims didn't give the go fucking Wahhabi crazy motherfuckers. Yeah, they definitely gave the United States some ammunition, anti-Muslim ammunition. But I think people are forgetting that not all Muslims are the same. And he's definitely no terrorist. He's a sportsman just like everybody else. And to see, to see the media and the organization allow this guy to be belittled so much and attacked so much when this would have never happened. And another thing, Conor was, the referee was protecting Conor. That fight, I'm not saying it needed to be stopped, but I've seen fights stopped on that one position that Conor was on the ground and getting pounded. Fights have gotten stopped like that. He was allowed to hold on to the cage multiple times. He was allowed to drive elbows to the back of his head. He was allowed to grab his glove. Khabib was getting frustrated in there because the referee wasn't enforcing the rules. And I think when he grabbed McGregor's chin, basically, he didn't have the hold in even. Deep in, and Conor tapped out like a little bitch. I think he got very frustrated because he really wanted to rearrange his face permanently. And when Conor just kind of tapped out, even though the hold wasn't locked in, I think that really frustrated him because he still wanted to punish him. And I'm not condoning what he did. I think it was terrible, but it wasn't terrible for the UFC brand. Let's get that straight. It was terrible for his own career, which is basically, it works out great for the UFC because they don't want some dirty Dagestani rat as their champion. They want Conor McGregor because he is, the white Floyd Mayweather of the UFC. He's the moneymaker. He's a great example for the kids with the things that he says and the way he condones himself. So I think that's my piece. Thank you very much.
Well, there's certainly no doubt. I will say this: when it comes to favoritism, McGregor was holding on to the cage. He was holding on to the cage. He was holding on to Khabib's glove, which is illegal. And I forget what else he did too. Oh yeah, he kneed him while they were on the ground, even though he was on at the bottom, while Khabib was on top of him. But he wasn't supposed to. And it was a clear knee, couldn't miss it. Everybody reacted in the crowd, the commentators, but no point was deducted. So, it wouldn't surprise me. And by the way, Bucho, didn't they sign a contract with McGregor, like some sort of a
6-fight deal?
6-fight deal. So there you go. I will say this regarding the actual fight, and then I'll get to somebody else. But the McGregor, it just seemed to me also, I mean, I'm not taking away credit from Khabib, but you have to wonder whether the fight would have gone any differently, maybe a little bit more competitive, if McGregor would have had a couple more fights, and if it wasn't true that he was coked up or something. Because people are saying that he's been partying too much, blah, blah, blah. He certainly managed
McGregor. He got beat up. That's all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
listen,
let's get to Cameron before Cameron complains that we don't let him talk, man.
But he didn't even watch the fight, he said. He wants to talk boxing. Cameron, are you there? And if so, do you want to? Because I was under the impression that you didn't want to talk about McGregor. So I was gonna wait until we switched to boxing a little bit.
Yeah, man. I could care less about MMA. I didn't watch the fight. I'm just here to talk some boxing when we talk about that.
Oh, yeah, you seen that big baby second round KO show on some?
I don't care about Baby. Nobody cares. He's not a top 3 heavyweight. He fought an absolute shot light heavyweight. Let's get into that later on. I don't want to talk about Baby Miller.
I think you're hitting Cameron.
He really is, man, because that was a good performance.
You don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, Cameron, go ahead and tell us why you think this was a shit performance.
Because Thomas Adamek is about 60 years old. He's a light heavyweight.
That's not true. He's 50.
He's about, look.
Man, he could move. That guy can move good. He's a solid boxer. I mean, come on, Big Baby.
He may be a solid boxer, but he's fighting absolute shite last night. I'm sorry, but he was. Thomas Adamek wasn't an impressive performance. It wasn't impressive knocking Thomas Adamek out. Eric Molina, who's a school teacher, he knocked him out a few years ago. So for Jarrell Miller to knock him out now, last night,
second round.
So any heavyweight would knock out Thomas Adamek in the top 15.
Deontay Wilder would knock him out.
41-year-old, come on.
Deontay Wilder would not. Listen, here's my take.
Jarrell Miller's a top 3 heavyweight after that performance last night. I don't know what you're smoking, bro.
No, Big Baby's definitely a top 3. He's a top 3 heavyweight. He's a threat to everyone.
Okay, so you're telling me Baby Miller's above either Wilder, Joshua, or Fury?
No. Oh no, he's over. He's over Fury right at this point. This is not over Fury. The last two performances. The last 2 performances. Come on, Fury looked like trash.
But Trap,
honestly, you're biased, man. That's
who's he beating?
I think you're trolling.
I mean, I know you
last night I took you serious last night, but I think you're just either biased or trolling.
I didn't say he's better than Wilder or Joshua. I'm saying Fury hasn't done anything since he came back. He looked like garbage.
sitting down doing nothing for the last 2-3 years. Even his doing nothing is still a better resume than what
I'm saying
was doing the whole
if they
time.
fought today, if they fought today, right now, if they fought right now, you not picking Fury. I don't believe that.
I'm picking
not
Fury.
What?
I'm picking Fury.
I'm picking Fury as well. A lot of people would.
His last two performances look garbage.
I still pick.
He's getting in shape.
Really good win, isn't he? Thomas Adamek's a really good performance, isn't it? It's a really good win that you can stand out and brag about.
Listen, you supposed to run over the bums, and he did what he's supposed to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're saying it's a good performance, but now you're calling Adamek a bum. Like,
I'm not saying it's in an American sense. It's not in the sense that he's
actually a bum.
He's not. He's a solid boxer, but Big Baby did what he's supposed to do. Now, if it would have went 10 rounds and he knocked him out, that don't mean nothing. You got him out there first 2 rounds. You show what level you on. That you on a different level than him. I'm not saying it's the greatest performance, but he did what he was supposed to do.
Dylan Waters got a better resume than Jarrell Miller.
I'm not speaking about resume. I'm just saying from the eyesight, who I think can beat who. I think he beats Dillian White. I think he beats Tyson Fury right now. I don't think he beats Wilder and Joshua, but he beats everybody else. Arguably, it's debatable. It's debatable.
Like I said in the chat, I'm coming here to talk about an actual relevant fighter who's actually fighting relevant opponents, and I wanted to talk about Inoue's performance earlier on. He absolutely destroyed Juan Carlos Payano in the World Boxing Super Series. Absolutely destroyed him, man. First punch he landed, right hand, set him up with a jab. That's that. This guy, man. Do you know what I said on Twitter earlier on? I think Inoue might be, in terms of his rise, you know, he looks stronger as he gets through the weight divisions. I think he might be the most, you know, in terms of, you know, pound for pound, I think he might be the biggest puncher since Pacquiao, in my opinion.
In that weight, and you mean like in those like low,
like going through the lighter weights, yeah. Like that's since a young Pacquiao, I don't think I've seen a more devastating puncher in the weight.
Isaac Dogboe is the best under 130.
Yeah, but he's only fighting in one division, man. He knew he's moving through the weights, and his power's getting big. His power's getting more devastating. What?
That could be a future.
If he step up, he'll get the business.
He is stepping up, man, and he's walking through these guys.
Oh, dog.
He knew it. No, I'm saying Dogboe was smashing. Dogboe is the best under 130.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, but he looks good, though. I'll give you that. He does look good.
I mean, you think Jarrell Miller's the top 3 heavyweights, so I don't know if you're being serious about that either. But
no. Meaning, no. You take it. No, we're not saying resume. I'm saying besides Wilder and Joshua, every other fight is debatable with Big Baby, and we can't say it's not. We can't say it's not.
Well, Fury beat Klitschko. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't just forget about that. Like, this is the guy who's
no. Old Fury running through everybody. I got Old Fury beating Wilder, Joshua, everybody, but he's not that same guy. You've seen the last 2 fights. Y'all can't say this is the same Fury that whooped Klitschko. It's not.
Hey, Trump, did you see a bit of progress from that comeback fight, the first comeback fight from Fury, and the second one? Did you see a little bit of progress?
He was still he's about 2-3 fights.
Did you see a little bit of progress or no?
Not really. No.
Okay. Because then logic would tell you that maybe the third fight, something against Wilder, you're gonna see more improvement. And so, go ahead.
I just don't feel like. I mean, like, I've got a handful of fighters better than Dogboe at 130 based on the eye test, their style, and who they're beating. And for me, you got to put Rumban side, Inoue, Kiyoguchi. A lot of these guys down there, Kinshiro looked good today. A lot of these guys, for me, are more impressive against high-level opposition than Isaac Dogboe. Isaac Dogboe's beat Jesse Magdaleno, big deal. He's a good fighter. I like watching him fight, but until these guys fight somebody relevant, I'm not going to sit here and say these guys are the best in the division. Let's be honest, anybody can come up and fight guys that are overmatched and look good, and we can sit here and say they're the best in the division. But all these guys, there's a lot more guys. There's a handful of guys in the lower weights under 130 who are actually very good fighters, knocking out other elite fighters. And Isaac Dogboe hasn't done that yet. So for me to say he's the best of 130, he's too premature.
Well, can I say something?
We can't just overlook performances though. Like when Danny Garcia, everybody thought Danny Garcia was gonna smash Herrera. He didn't do that. Herrera beat him. So sometimes guys fight to the level of their opponents. We see it all the time. But I'm saying when a guy goes in there and does what he's supposed to do, you give him respect for that, because we seen like with Danny Garcia versus Herrera, everybody doesn't step up, when they fight lower competition. So you can't just give it because, this guy is talented, that he's just gonna run through him, because it doesn't happen like that all the time.
Well, listen, I want to say something about Doug Bowie. I disagree. I don't think he's the best yet at under 130, but I will say he's pretty dangerous. And I do rate that Magdaleno win pretty high. I thought he dismantled a very good guy like Magdaleno. I don't think there's a lot of guys that can do that. But under 130, remember, you got the 126-pound division there, which is full of killers. And I don't know if Doug Bowie can walk through. I don't even know if he can walk through fucking Scott Quigg yet. So let's hold back a little bit.
Him versus Magdaleno, that was a very good fight. That was a classic. I love that fight. ESPN.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's not get too carried away. Because again, that's what Butcher and I were saying before, in the beginning of the show. Like with Inoue, a lot of people think that Inoue is just gonna walk through everybody 118, 122, even 126. Like, come on, let's dial it back a little bit, and let's not go overboard. Let's see if Inoue can get or look as destructive as he has against some of the other guys in this 118-pound tournament. Because I don't see him.
Yeah, I think Inoue, you know, I mean, Juan Carlos, I put the actual fight, well, whatever the fight was, or how much the fight was on Twitter, and I said that before the fight. I said it's not a matter of when Inoue stops Payano. It's if. Now, look, I mean, look, I've said before, I'm very high on Inoue, but still questions need to be answered. In terms of, you know, a fighter his size, pressuring him, see how he can adapt to box on the back foot, you know, get a chin check. But the thing is, I mean, it's all good saying this, but you know, this guy's power is scary. Like, he's got freakish power, you know, and he's getting noticed now. Like, a lot of people are noticing him. Like, a lot of casual fans are noticing him. Like, this guy, you know, Roman Gonzalez was really a sort of he kind of transcended the sport in terms of getting the lower weights. You know, noticed on the big networks over the US and UK and Europe. I feel like Inoue is carrying that flag. I think he's going to be the next guy that kind of carries that and continues to put the lower weights on the map, because, you know, he's scary. You know, he hits hard. You know, he's very. Oh, somebody's doing a super chat. I'll just finish up. He hits very hard, and he just, you know, he's just blowing through opponents, and he's getting knockout highlight reels. And, you know, for me, he's the next flag bearer for those lower weights.
Well, first of all, before we continue with that, let's give a thanks to Stack Those Bananas. He says, if there's time, talk about White versus Ortiz. Thanks, boys. Thank you, Stack. You're getting us one step closer to that fucking call-in show. And we also are investing the money from the super chats into better equipment. So next
how much do you need for these call-in shows? About fucking 10 grand or something?
No, we need a Butcher. How much is it usually?
It's like $49 a month.
Yeah, but we want to get the package, like the 3-month package right away. So we don't want to just pay for.
What is it? Is it on Blog Talk? Is it a Blog Talk?
Is it Blog Talk?
No. Fuck yeah, I think that's the one I checked. Yeah.
Yeah, Blog Talk's not cheap.
But listen, I want to get back to.
Anyways, talk about it.
Anyways, thanks to I want to give a shout out again to Stack Those Bananas. Thanks a lot.
Stack those bananas.
Is that racist, by the way? Anyway, I wanted to say this about Inoue. First of all, let's put up the turn. I wanted to put this up from the beginning of the show. As you can see here on the screen, this is the 118-pound tournament bracket. Ryan Burnett, 19-0, taking on the veteran Nonito Donaire. Inoue, who just took out Payano. Then you have Zolani Tete against Mikhaili Aloyan. Aloyan, who has a very good amateur record, but as a professional, he's only got 4 fights with 0 knockouts. So make of that fight what you will. Emmanuel Rodriguez, the dark horse of this tournament, 18-0 with 12 knockouts, taking on the undefeated Jason Maloney. Here's my question to you guys. If the Donaire, who still has a very explosive left hook, can beat Burnett, how do you see a fight between him and Inoue going?
Inoue Burnett.
No, Inoue Donaire.
Yeah, do you know what? Donaire's shot to pit. I think the problem is, you know, Donaire. It's hard to say because excuse me. And Donaire's not been at bantamweight for over 7 years now, and at his age, how's he going to be at the weight? You know, how's he going to be cutting down the weight? You know, he moved up. You know what I mean? And you know, now he's cutting down from 122 to 118 again. And like I said, when have we ever seen a fighter, right? You name me a fighter in history of boxing that's moved up in weight, and you know, and when he's got to an older age where he's past his best days, moved back down in weight and had a successful end to his career. I don't remember one, unless, you know, anybody can name that. So for me, I don't see this ending well for Donaire. I think the weight loss will probably be pretty bad for him. And he's past his best anyway. He's slower. His lateral movement's not there like he used to be. And I feel like Inoue would probably do a bit of a job on Donaire at this point. So I don't know, man. But a young fight. If we're talking about Donaire from 7 years ago, when he was knocking out Nishioka, Arsa, all these guys, that would have been a hell of a fight. And I feel like Donaire would have been stylistically a horrible fight for Inoue, but not 2018 version of Donaire.
Yeah, obviously we're not talking about him, fucking asshole. No, I'm kidding. That's a new BDA character, the one that gets angry about any little thing. No, but you're right. Listen, this fucking Nonito Donaire, he was complaining. I forget which. You remember those HBO 24 hours? No, what's it? 48 hours with a fighter, something like that, where they would spend time with a fighter before the fight. And I forget which fight. I think it was for the Vargas fight. Donaire was complaining about making weight and he was 122, by the way. He was complaining about that. And he was complaining about how when I'm making weight, all I want to do is I'm cramped and I want to eat some chocolate and blah, blah. Like he sounded like a woman in menopause.
My pussy hurts.
All right, but he sounded like a woman in menopause, and I'm thinking if he could just drop those extra pounds because he has some baby fat around him, he could make 118 pounds. So maybe Cameron is right. Maybe he's gonna fucking look bad. Maybe the weight cut's but maybe it's actually gonna be easy.
BDA, let me ask you a question, man. When was the last time, like I said, when was the last time we saw a fighter move down in weight at older age for another challenge and actually succeeded? When?
Delia Pacquiao.
Come on, man. When have we ever seen that? When have we ever seen a fighter move down in weight?
Never.
They always get knocked out and stopped when they move back down in weight.
Even Roy Jones. Jones. Remember that? I mean, he did. That was at
that was 25 pounds, man. 25 pounds of muscle.
Donaire is washed up. He's done.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, he is washed up. I mean, this guy's done. I mean, I don't even think he beats Burnett, to be honest with you, man. Like, I'm being serious. I don't think he beats Burnett. So,
no.
You know what I mean? So we're talking about, I would love to have seen a prime Donaire against this Inoue. I think that would have been an amazing fight. I've had Precise on the show a few times say that, Inoue's quite, reckless when he's throwing the big, when he's unloading his offense, and he's right, because you see Inoue, when he's got an opponent hurt and he's throwing, he's trying to finish, he leaves himself open. He has got a leaky defense. That's why I'm not 100% convinced on him winning this tournament yet. I think Manny Rodriguez is an underdog. I think Tete's a good opponent, but I feel like I think Inoue is definitely a pound for pound top fighter in my opinion. He might not have to. To some people, he might not have the wins to back that up.
Who?
Huh?
Pound for pound for fighting who?
Well, you've got Jarrell Miller, top 3 heavyweight. Who's he for? We can keep going on this.
No, I didn't say it was pound for pound. I'm saying he can.
I'm saying he's top 3 heavyweight. You know what I mean? But who's he beats have that?
No, but he can match up against anybody outside of Wild.
Well, that's an opinion, though.
You just said that you got Jarrell Miller, top 3 heavyweight on the eye test.
Not pound for, no, not pound for pound. I'm saying.
I'm not saying that. But you've got Inoue top 3 you've got Jarrell Miller top 3 heavyweight on the eye test.
He is. He gives everybody issue outside of Wild.
Well, he's saying that the eye test can only be used in one division, but you cannot use the eye test.
No. Pound for pound is everything. Stop it. Pound for pound is everything. That's a total different thing. We talking about every division at that point. I'm saying you can't do that. He has.
How do you move up in the rankings?
You don't know anything. Let's just say you don't know anything and just start from there.
Oh, come on, man. Dogbo's in a different division.
I was coming now. You believe this guy?
Ain't nobody down there. In them lower weight class, ain't nobody.
Who is Dogbo beat to claim to be this amazing?
He just beat Magdaleno.
Big deal. Magdaleno is not exactly a great fight. Who's he beat? Prime that washed up Donaire?
Listen. Inoue is not pound for pound yet. He hasn't earned that yet. He might be a good fighter, but he hasn't earned pound for pound.
I get the sense, Trap, that you're trying to be like the controversial guy in this panel.
I don't view him as a pound for pound fighter. That's just what I'm saying.
All right, so let's agree. All right, so let's move on from that because I wanted to get to something about Adamek versus Miller. I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was Miller was in Adamek's dress hotel room. Okay, can you turn your mic off, please? Because there's a lot of background noise there. All right, thanks.
Everybody's in some sort of restaurant or something on the.
Yeah, it's getting too casual here. It's like people are just relaxing, and they're in their fucking taking a shit. They have their mics open. I mean, come on, let's have some.
Yeah. All right, in the middle of 9/11 every fucking show.
Listen. Yeah. I wanted to get to this. I wanted to get to this real quick because we gotta go soon. Adamek was in. There was a video on YouTube of fucking Miller in Adamek's hotel room with Adamek's wife. Adamek's got no shirt on, and Miller is crying. So my question to you is: did you guys see that video, and can you give us any context about what the hell was happening?
Wait.
Who was crying?
Miller was crying.
Miller was in Adamek's hotel room.
Yeah. And Adamek was there. Adamek was there shirtless. His wife was there, and Miller was crying and hugging. It looked like a porno. I'm just gonna go out and say
what?
I'll tell you why he was crying.
Crazy.
He was crying because he was saying, "Look, I feel bad for matchmakers putting you in with me, and overmatched opponent. It wasn't competitive. It was a stupid fight. People are going to start putting me in top 3 heavyweight after this performance. Was even more of a joke." So,
that's what I thought.
I want to apologize for that.
That's what I thought too. That was the first thing after the porn thing. That's the second thing that came to my mind. Like, I think he feels bad that he beat him up in front of his wife or something, because the guy was fucking crying in the dressing room. Listen, I'm looking for the video here.
He's called Big Baby for a reason.
Listen, I don't know if I can play the video because I don't know if it's but I'll just put the fucking screen cap here. You see that? Look at the screen and you can see what I'm talking about.
Literally, I went in. Look, I said before the fight, like, I was watching it live, and so I was watching Beterbiev Johnson, which was a good fight, by the way. Talk about it in a minute, but I watched the Miller fight, right, and I said before the fight, I was going in on Eddie Hearn. I was going in on Eddie Hearn before on Twitter. I was like, this is potentially the worst matchmaking you've ever done in your career, putting Adamek in there with Miller, right? This is probably the worst matchmaking you've done. This fight's a mismatch on so many levels. Miller gets no credit for this win, and if he looks shit, it's even worse. So what does he get out of this, man? Miller doesn't move up in the rankings off that win last night. He doesn't look any good than he did before the fight. And if anything, it's a fight that people should forget. It was a complete waste of time. And
look,
it's true, but tell me that's wrong.
No. I got a question. Is Big Baby versus Dillian White a 50-50 fight to you? Be honest.
Is Big Baby Miller versus Dillian White a 50-50 fight?
Yeah.
I think
it's a close fight. It's close. I'd favour Dillian White, but it's a close fight. I'm not confident.
Okay.
Like, if you had to rank them,
I favor, and again, I agree with Cameron. Like that fight with Adamek was like not necessary for me. But if they were to fight, I think I favor Baby Miller over. It's a 50-50 fight, but I favor Miller to beat Dillian White.
I recognize. Did you watch a bit of the Adamek Miller fight?
No, I just saw the highlights when he knocked him out.
All right. Now, did you see what I put up on the screen?
I didn't watch no boxing at all yesterday. Sorry about that, guys.
Damn, you missed a good fight with Beterbiev Johnson, man. That was a good fight for the 4 rounds.
Yeah, he got dropped, man.
Do you know what I say about Beterbiev, right?
Yeah.
I said before the fight about Beterbiev, right? I said the inactivity, it hurt him against Colin, I thought. And I think it hurt him last night because he was getting lit up in there at moments. Like, Johnson pressured him from the first bell for the entire fight until he got stopped. Johnson dropped him at the end of the second. Beterbiev dropped Johnson at the end of the first, and Johnson stopped him in the second, and then Beterbiev was lighting him up. One thing I will say about Beterbiev is, he's vulnerable. Like, he's been dropped before by Jeff Page years ago. He's vulnerable, but he hits like a fucking truck. Like, he can knock any light heavyweight out. But the problem is he's vulnerable himself. So that's why he's so exciting to watch for me, because you just don't know. If you don't knock him out, he's going to knock you out. That's the type of fight.
He needs to get active. He needs to stay active.
He wants to unify next. He says he wants Bivol or the winner of Alvarez Kovalev.
Okay, he mentioned Stevenson as well.
He hates.
He won't make that fight. They won't make that because Yvonne Michelle's got both of them. They won't make that fight.
You know he hates. You guys know he hates Kovalev, right?
Yeah.
I did interviews with Beterbiev a few times, and trust me, he doesn't like Kovalev.
It's a inside thing. It's a Russian thing. They just don't like each other.
Speaking of
what you thought
Beterbiev,
about the Vargas Delorme fight?
I didn't watch that fight. I thought it was a mismatch beforehand. I need to go watch it.
We talked about it before.
I don't even know who won.
I mean, the first 4 rounds, Delorme was clearly whooping him out.
That says more about Jesse.
Delorme looked real good. Delorme looked real good. He looked real good.
I didn't watch that fight because I thought I'm only going to stay up and watch the Beterbiev Johnson fight because it's the only competitive fight. I wake up this morning, I hear that Jesse Vargas got a draw against Delorme.
A draw?
Yeah, it was a draw.
It was a draw, yeah.
And people think Jesse Vargas is a top fighter in the welterweight division. Come on, man.
Well, he's a top 10 guy, but he's not gonna beat the top 5 guys. That's for sure.
The matchup was bad
Delorme's
for
not
him.
the top 15 guy.
Because Delorme's footwork and he's working off that jab, it was just too much, and he was keeping the proper distance. It was a lot for Jesse.
Well, listen, Delorme, like I said in the beginning of the show, this guy was giving Terence Crawford a couple of good rounds before he got caught, and he also beat Kareem Mayfield back when Mayfield had something in the tank. So Delorme is not a bad fighter.
No, he's not a bad fighter. And you're right. Going back to the Terence Crawford fight, I remember like the first 3 rounds, he was giving him some problems, and then I guess Crawford just figured him out and stopped him. So, but he does have some talent. Like this, it's just that him taking good punches is just not. He's not built for it. I noticed it against Abregu when Abregu was starting to catch him with some shots and started to figure out a couple of things. He crumbled quickly. And so I'm kind of surprised with that Vargas.
Yeah, he's slow. That's what he does, dude. Like he'll be out schooling in the first 4 rounds, then he'll like get sloppy. He's one of those guys that's he gets a little bit sloppy. He gets a little bit too confident. That's where I thought where he messed up with Vargas. But when he was just fighting calm and control, he was schooling Vargas. It wasn't even close. Like he seemed like he was in a different class early on.
Yeah, he's Bilson. The guy's got good skills. There's a reason why people were calling him before the Abregu loss. People were calling him the next Felix Tito Trinidad because he was looking.
They were high on their own farts or something. Because
whoa, well, wait a minute. Why you got to put that image?
I knew that. I knew that from the beginning. You ain't no Trinidad.
Well, that's because you get the inside knowledge. You get the inside scoop on all these Puerto Rican fighters, but the rest of us, we weren't really sure about that.
My inside scoop was the eye test. I said, nah, this dude ain't no fucking Trinidad.
Based on the eye test, did you have Delorme top 3 in the heavyweight division? No, I'm kidding. Jesus, people take it.
Yeah, I thought. Well, at that time, the heavyweight division was so garbage. Yeah, I had.
Hey, speaking of
who you outside of Wilder and John,
I was kidding, man. Trap. I was kidding. Trap. Jesus.
Who you got smashed? No, not you. The shit talkers. Who you got smashing them outside of Wilder and Joshua? Who you got
I was kidding, man. Sure. I was kidding.
I'm just done talking about Baby Miller. He's taken over the last 2 podcasts, man.
No, not you. No. Who taking shots? Who do you have? You just taking shots. Who do you have smashing Baby Miller?
Trap. It was a good joke. I saw the opening and I had to go for it, man. I don't want to get into the whole fucking heavyweight top 3, top 2, top 2.5. It was a joke. Let's not go back to the fucking. In fact, the only thing I want to talk about regarding Big Baby Miller would be if anybody saw what I put up on the screen, which was Adamek shirtless and Miller with his wife. What the hell was that?
Shirtless and shit. Come on, get out of here.
I just, do you know what, man? Look, there's a lot of good fights this weekend in boxing, and Baby Miller versus Adamek's at the bottom of the pile of the one I want to talk about. So.
All right. Well, listen. Let's go to Trap Media because now I feel bad that he didn't like my joke. We also had last night. It was Beterbiev versus Callum Johnson. So I just wanted to ask you guys something, and I'll start with Trap. Like I said, is Beterbiev getting shafted by his management? Because again, there was an issue about that he was going to move on from. He was under Yvon Michel or the PBC half and half. Do you think he should just drop it and go with Golden Boy or? Bob Iron, ESPN.
I've got the ins and outs of that, but I'll let Trap go first.
No, you go first.
All right, so basically, they went to court, and basically, obviously, Beterbiev wanted to get out of his promotional contract with Yvon Michel, and he lost the court case, so he's still tied with Yvon Michel until the end of 2020. So, sorry, early 2020. Now, he's just signed a deal with DAZN, so, he's going to be fighting there. Yvon Michel isn't actually dealing with Beterbiev's fights going forward. As far as I know, he's involved, but he's not the main handler. So he can't actually get out of his promotional deal. He's tied with Yvon Michel for another few years now. He's going to appeal the actual verdict because he does want to get out of it because obviously he's lost a lot of valuable time over the last few years. But he's still promoted by Yvonne Michelle. He's still under Gym Promotions, but he's just with the DAZN now, and obviously he's going to be looking to get active with them. I know he's been out the last few years. He only fought twice, but as far as I know, he can't get out of the contract. He's already tried; it failed, so he's stuck with them. That's where he's at.
Yeah, unfortunately, the boxing business, man, you have to be signed to like a promoter or an agent that can get you like recognition, and unfortunately, these guys end up signing with people, signing with more than one. He should just have like one fucking promoter, and that's it, not two promoters, not like the Zone, and then on top of that, he's dealing with what's the guy's name from Canada, Yvonne Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
That's just way too many like middlemen involved, and but I get it. In order for these guys to get like these kind of fights, to get the recognition, they have to do these things, or they put in a situation where they have to sign with these. Yvonne Michelle, what interest does he have of making Beterbiev a better fighter, or a more known fighter? Is what I meant to say. It doesn't seem like he has no rush, no interest at all. He's more interested in
keeping. He was probably trying to keep him exactly.
And Adonis Stevenson, he's looking at, and you can tell that this has nothing to do with the future or marketability, because Adonis Stevenson is 40. Okay?
Stevenson makes more money than Beterbiev.
Yeah, but he's also 40 years old. Like, what's the future like, as in compared to Beterbiev, who's in his 30s?
Beterbiev he's actually 33 now. I just feel like because I just feel like Beterbiev, he's not had the right backing. I mean, like when he was coming through, when he was knocking out Cloud and Campillo and things like that in his like first 4 or 5 fights, I thought, yeah, this guy's gonna tear. I felt like, I think it was about 2 years ago, I actually put on Twitter, I said, I feel like Beterbiev's been groomed to be the one to take those belts off Stevenson. I feel like that's what they're trying to do, because obviously Beterbiev was under Yvonne Michelle, Stevenson's under Yvonne Michelle. They're both with Heyman at one point, and Beterbiev was on the PBC. So I feel like at one point I thought, what, they're gonna protect Stevenson because they want Beterbiev to be the ones to take them belts. And obviously because he's younger and fresher, and he's got that marketability. But then obviously it went all wrong with Yvonne Michelle. I still believe that if things didn't go south with Beterbiev and Yvonne Michelle, they would have fed Stevenson to Beterbiev at some point. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Beterbiev has shown like he's not really interested in staying too long with Yvonne Michelle, and so they're like, well, if you don't stay with me, I'm not going to give you Adonis then.
Yeah, he wasn't paid like when I was doing an interview with Beterbiev, they sent me like the thing from they sent me, I don't know if I should have been allowed to see it, but I might as well say it. They sent me like the actual legal proceedings, like the papers and things like that. And basically, Beterbiev wasn't, according to him, he wasn't paid for one of his fights against, when he fought Moderna a few years ago. Yvonne Michelle didn't pay him for his fight until 7 months later or something like that.
What?
He didn't get paid for that fight. That's why he wanted out of the contract, because he was promised a certain amount of fights, and he actually wasn't being paid for months.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you sign with, man. You got to make sure this is like a legit person that is going to make sure you get paid, and if you're a high level fighter, especially, right, that you're going to get the exposure that you're looking for. Because if not, then you sign these long contracts. And something happens, they'll fuck you over. They'll be like, okay,
that's right.
You have no really interest, so I'm not going to do my job to promote you. I'm just going to,
and by the way,
stand there.
Recognize that goes for any form of entertainment, because I remember when I used to perform in Los Angeles, I was lucky that I was under the backing, or the wing rather, of Goldstein and Shapiro, and they took real good care of me. But how many people that I saw, how many people did I see? Yeah, listen, they all went down.
They run Hollywood. Goldstein and Shapiro, people with that names, they run
exactly.
They run that business. Yeah.
But by the way, I wanted to bring something up about. But go ahead, Trap.
No, I was joking. I was saying, be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
All right, listen. I wanted to ask you guys another question. Speaking of Beterbiev, is it me, or does he look a little bit like fucking Khabib? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
no,
not saying
they seem the same. I think it was Precise. Precise was saying where they were from.
Dagestan.
I believe from where?
Dagestan.
Dagestan. Now, maybe Dagestan is close to Chechnya. I have no idea, right? But wherever they live at in Russia, right? Because they say they're Russians. They obviously have Eurasian blood. They're Europeans mixed with from what I can see. They're almost like Asiatics, right? I guess that's the best term.
Orientals.
Where they mix. They got mixed blood. They got mixed blood.
You talking that 5% talk record now?
Yeah, recognize. Are you saying all white people look alike? Is that what you're saying?
No, white people.
Yeah, from the Caucasus there.
No, white people.
Georgia. What are those countries? Georgia, Armenia, and
Central Asia.
Yeah. Well, Central Asia,
Caspian
exactly.
Sea, around the Caspian Sea. I think that's what it's called.
If you look at a lot of Eastern Europeans, if you look at them, there's a difference between them and the Western Europeans. There is. If you're the type of person that's not paying attention, you're just like, oh, especially if you're from a race totally different from theirs, you're like, oh, they're just white. But if you really pay attention, there's a difference. There's a big difference, really, if you look at it. Like I can tell someone from being from Eastern Europe as in compared to Western Europe. I can definitely see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can, but there's a lot of people that will just categorize people out there as white and non-white.
Right. Or like black people go through the same thing too, right? Like they're like, oh, no, black people don't all look the same. They don't,
Exactly.
There's really light-skinned black people. There's in between. There's really dark skin. So it's like, there's a difference.
Hey, everybody in the chat, I see y'all hating, but look yourself in the mirror. No, you might be a hater. Look yourself in the mirror. You might be a hater. You gonna see next year though.
They hating on Trap. They hating on.
It's because I think he's on. I think he's on about me. I think he's on about me.
Well, I will say this. I just want
to say one thing, right? Trap. It's all for laughing. Listen, if Jarrell Miller, right, proves if he does what you say, I will come on this podcast and I'll admit you're right.
I hope so. It's gonna come. He's gonna get a shot soon. You know he is.
If he goes in there and beats someone like Dylan White, if he beats one of the top guys, will come in and say, "Oh, I was wrong about Jarrell Miller," right?
We need a whole show. Just dedicated to Big Baby, highlighting his career, going back, watching some old fights.
Let's do it. I'm down, man. You can do a presentation, man, and I'll just
listen. I'm telling you, next year
I'll catch a show on replay.
It's gonna be some big things coming. This was the end of his deal. He's about to re-up with Eddie Hearn. You see, he had to say some good words about Hearn, to make up for all the shit talking he was doing.
That's why he was crying. Now I get it. Yeah, okay.
He was crying. He was crying because he thought, thank God my handler's not going to put me in there. It was like a goal.
No. But he knocked out Adamek, and he said, "Man, I'm in a bad situation, bro. I'm sorry. I had to knock you out, and I got to re-up with Eddie Hearn. So I hope you forgive me for doing that in front of your wife." I'm
sorry for knocking your 41-year-old past your best sorry ass out.
No, but guys,
he was emotional in the ring with him though. Like when you see, I don't know if y'all seen, he went right over to him, hug. He was real emotional for some reason. I don't know. Maybe that was cool.
Well, seriously, I just read.
Hold on. BDA, go ahead.
Well, I hate to end the fun, but on a serious note, somebody wrote in the YouTube video the real reason why he was crying. Apparently, he wanted to go to McDonald's and they closed by the time the fight was over. So that explains it. All right, sorry, Butcher, go ahead.
That makes fucking sense. Like, no, my helping me out. No, by the way, no, but wait, hold on. Recognize said in the chat before that Miller, Nowacki, Adamek, they all know each other from New York boxing.
Right.
Like, they're New York boxing buddies. So.
Okay. Joe, I know seriously about Miller.
You know we're gonna have to start doing for Big Baby. You know how Stone Cold used to get the beer thrown to him at the end of the fight. We're gonna have to start doing cheeseburgers.
Imagine knocking him out, takes the gloves off. But now, in all seriousness, right? About Baby, I actually think he's very talented in terms of you know what he's done. I think he's on a nice run. the fact he's on Durpal, Whack, Washington, that's a nice little 3-fight win streak there in the heavyweight division. Everybody else is getting title shots, only getting one win. See Dominik Brazil campaign for a wilder fight, beating basically nobody. So for me, I feel like Miller's on the rise. I like the guy. He's different. He's a character. He's a fresh character, and he's new blood. The only thing I want to say is, that I was disappointed that he was put in there with Thomas Adamek. That's the only reason I'm going in on the guy, because that fight was pointless last night. I actually think I think Miller, it's time he fought another guy that's kind of up there. For me, I want to see him in with these guys. I want to see how good he can be, and he's not going to do that fight on Thomas Adamek. That's why I was disappointed with that fight.
I'd rather see Big Baby Miller fight instead of Adamek. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ.
Yes.
Holy you want to talk about what?
I'd rather see the Adamek rematch.
No.
Nah, get out of here. Right. Come on.
You telling me that you rather see Adamek in the ring than
Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs needs to stay retired. This guy is literally doing nothing but walking around. When was the last time he even fought, man? Like 3 years ago?
This guy's gonna be like 65 still. He's looking for fights and shit. He's gonna be 65 looking for fights. Still hasn't fought.
Listen. By the time Anthony Joshua will be 10 years retired, and Shannon Briggs will still be campaigning for a world heavyweight title shot.
Oh, come on, man. Butcher brings up a good point. Let's see Shannon Briggs, who's gonna be 65 soon, against another fellow geriatric. Let's see him in against Luis Ortiz. That would be a good fight.
He's testing positive all the time. These guys.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, but seriously,
I don't want to see Shannon Briggs. What do you want? You'll see Shannon Briggs, Luis Ortiz, two guys who are going to be paying for their pension fund in a few years' time at the age of 60. I mean,
Shannon Briggs has been testing dirty since he was in his 20s. I don't know what's the big deal. They just might as well let him.
Hold on, Big. They said I forgot what the guy named. They said Big Baby's supposed to be fighting Frez Adequindo next.
Yeah. Oh no, friends of Quendo. What? Yeah. I can't believe. Listen.
Yes,
you know how old these guys are.
I'm happy about that. I'm happy about
for the WBA regular title. That's what you're trying to get.
Friends of Quendo to give you a Friends of Quendo fought John Ruiz before Roy Jones did. Now
that's right.
Think about how long ago
Roy That was 2003. That was.
Yeah, well, then there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so happy. He's 45, but Big Baby just trying to get some leverage with the title. That's all he said.
Let me tell you something. This is how shitty the division is right now. A guy like Friso Kendo comes back, and he's a top contender. He's a WBA regular champion. I mean, we're not talking about like a George Foreman who comes back and he's in the 90s competing. George Foreman is a legendary boxer, right? We're talking about Friso Kendo, who at that when he was younger. He wasn't doing shit in boxing, man. He wasn't doing anything. He was losing.
And he lost to Holyfield. He lost to Holyfield in 2007 when Holyfield was 44 or 45 or something.
God.
45.
I don't mind Jarrell Miller fighting another old man because Fraser Quendo, for me, I just want to see Fraser Quendo out of this WBA picture. And if that means Jarrell Miller goes in there and takes him out, sign me up for it, man. I'm all willing for it.
Well, listen, I want to get back to maybe Miller because that seems to be the subject everybody wants to talk about. I will say this. Regardless of the jokes that we make and all that, Baby Miller, a lot of people were under. What did you say? Recognize?
I'm sorry. Did I say that out? Did I say that out loud?
Everybody heard you.
I heard something, but I didn't hear where it was. But
he said not really.
Oh, well, listen. Recognize doesn't run this show. He might run the streets of New York or Brooklyn, but he doesn't run this show.
I run this spot.
I run New York.
Recognize may run the streets of New York as until Miguel Cotto arrives in town.
Let me tell you something, Cameron. That's where you messed up. If he came to New York looking for me, it'd be a mistake. In New York, different ballgame. In Puerto Rico, I have to,
It's interesting that every time he fought in Madison Square Garden.
We all know 6ix9ine around New York.
Yeah, right.
Exit New York.
This is getting out of hand, guys. This is getting into street level. Next thing you know, Khabib is going to be coming in here, jumping through this fucking fence and kicking our asses. Listen, Big Baby Miller, I will say this. I think a lot of people are underrating him a little bit because he couldn't stop Duhapis. But I think Big Baby Miller brings something that a lot of people at heavyweight will not be able to deal with that much, and that is the inside fighting. Yeah, he looks slow, but he hits you with those little taps which look little. No, but look, listen, they look little, but remember, they have 300 plus pounds behind him.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, no, I totally,
Exactly.
I'm with
So
you on that.
I don't.
That's why I do agree with Trap and what he's saying. That I don't know if put it this way. Even though there's like two or three guys that I would say would definitely beat him, at this, or I think I would pick them comfortably. Excuse me. That's what I meant to say. But I don't think they'll definitely beat him because I don't know if. Let's put it this way: if they can't hurt him, or at least fucking wear him out. Which I think that's where they'll beat him. That's where they'll beat him. The guys that I'm talking about specifically are Wilder and Joshua. Let's see what Fury's gonna do in this fight. For me to say for sure, Fury. But other than that, outside of that, I would pick him to beat. I say it's a 50-50 fight. I pick him to beat Ortiz, and I pick him to beat Dillian White. But those are 50-50 fights. So I kind of agree with Trap Media that, outside of those two guys, at least for me, I kind of agree where it's kind of 50-50.
Usyk.
He's not even a heavyweight yet, though, man.
He's not a heavyweight.
No, he's gonna be. We know he's gonna be a heavyweight. This is his last fight. He's Tony Bellew, whatever. He's a heavyweight. Who? Imagine if he fights Baby Miller.
I think
Baby Miller's gonna keep coming forward, man.
Yeah.
And can Usyk hurt him? Who knows, man?
Well, Butcher, what do you think about Big Baby Miller? I mean, do you think he... yeah, what?
I want to see him take a shot, man. From a good heavyweight, like a Povetkin, Dylan White. Dylan White can crack. Even Parker, man. I don't know, man. Listen, by the way, his stamina, I don't give a shit what they say. He moves like a lightweight, whatever. This guy's fat. Just looking at him, and just looking at him and physics alone tell you this guy cannot go 12 rounds if it's high paced. If he's fighting this type of fighters where he controls the pace, of course he's gonna go 12 rounds. But if he's in a fight where he's not in control of the pace, he's gonna get tired, man.
That's why I say for me, the guys that he won't be able to keep up the pace with will be. I could say I would be more confident, is what I mean to say, is Joshua and Wilder.
Andrew Ruiz.
No. Who? Andy Ruiz, you said?
That guy's got a good engine and punches quite fast.
Yeah, that's a good point, Cameron. That's a good point.
That's a great fight right there, yeah. But the problem with Ruiz is I don't know if he has the power to make him stop. You know what I'm saying? That's the only problem that could show up in that fight. But the guys that will have the power and that could wear him out, for sure, at least in my opinion, is Wilder and Joshua.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Wilder. Now, why do you say that? Recognize because with Wilder, because of the speed. You think he gets fat?
Wilder's not a great boxer. He's a great athlete. Wilder has A level conditioning.
Hold on.
A level. No, he has A level conditioning. I mean, he can keep fighting like that for It's a crazy style, but he could keep fighting like that for a long duration of the fight.
Why are we talking about Baby Miller like he's some Terminator, like unstoppable? And who's got not you, but in general, I get that feeling like he's because he's big, because he's 210 pounds or some shit. I don't know. He's a Terminator. Who's gonna be able to stop him? Can he take can somebody hurt him? I don't know, but you haven't seen his.
Chat Mead is literally brainwashed into thinking this guy's.
Yeah, exactly. I think he started to brainwash recognize now, man.
No. In fairness, before Trap ever said anything about him, and I know Trap is a big fan of Baby Miller, and that's cool.
I think so.
But what there's nothing. But hey, listen, it is. Look, I've always said, how the fuck do you beat a guy who weighs 300 pounds that can at the very least, man, he can just keep coming. He keeps coming. Now, again, he hasn't gotten hit with big punches, and that's what I want to see. But outside of Joshua and Wilder, who can you see cracking him and the fight is going to change for sure?
Povetkin. Remember Povetkin when he landed that huge right when he knocked out David Price. I know David Price has no chin, but that sort of punch can actually hurt. Listen, yeah, he's fat, but his chin is the same thing. He could be 210 or 280, or 270.
He's not fat though.
No, I understand.
He's not like a big.
Yeah, he has some muscle. I understand, but his chin. I don't see the difference where he's 210 pounds and that all of a sudden his chin is stronger because he's putting on more weight. That doesn't make sense to me, especially in the heavyweight division.
I'm pretty much sold that he can take a good punch, and here's why: he's a kickboxer. Okay. Now I know people are gonna say, "Well, what is that?" Well, kickboxers are trained to get caught with somebody who knows how to use their leg like you know how to use your hands, right? So in other words, they could punch you, they could kick you in your face fluidly the way people can throw punches. So I guarantee you he can take a punch. Now the question would be, how will his conditioning with a guy who punches hard, like Wilder, like Joshua, what would happen when they start taking him to deep water? These are A-level athletes. Even if you don't like Wilder's boxing style, which I don't, it's street fighting really. But he has A-level conditioning with a lot of power. So, so he can keep hurting Baby Miller. Is what I'm trying to say. He can keep. He's not gonna hit one punch him and knock him out. I doubt it. Okay, but if he keeps hitting him and he's taking him into the second half of the fight, Baby Miller may not be able to just. He might just collapse because he's like, damn, I can't compete with this guy's conditioning. And then on top of that,
maybe a TKO. Maybe he get a TKO against.
Right, a TKO stoppage.
Well, your point's
well taken. He's a Bob Sapp of boxing, man.
Huh? Was that Bucho?
He's a Bob Sapp of boxing.
I wouldn't go that far, man.
I'm actually gonna try and get an interview with Baby Miller now. Like this whole talk, I'm actually gonna try and get an interview with him now.
Well, Cameron, we got you beat, man. We got you beat. We already have an interview that we played a couple of months ago that we did via the telephone with Big Baby Miller. Here's a sample. Anyway, listen, that's not nice.
Was that when he was at McDonald's?
I'm going to try and get one because I'm interested. Trap is literally Trap Media just literally got me invested in this guy, man. You're a good promoter.
Trap Media is the rival.
Make sure you bring me on that day. I'm gonna be in the chat.
Trap Media is the what's his name? Ron L. Hubbard of boxing. He will brainwash you and he will get you thinking into his line of thinking. And by the way, is it me or because Recognize was talking about the ability of Miller to take a shot, and because you look at his body build. Yeah, he's fat, but he does have that big frame. And then I look at his legs, and they look very thick. They have no definition, but they're like tree trunks. And based on that, is it me or does it seem like he has he's the type of guy that has a short but stubby cock? Like you can tell he's got like a Coke can in between his legs.
I never even think of that. So,
oh come on, you never thought about it. You never thought about what type of cock the guy's got.
We've been talking about Baby Miller so much, talking about his potential cock size.
Well, that's all that's left.
Trap, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Trap. Curious to get your thoughts on that.
Want to ask about that.
Sounds like y'all trying to put that mainstream agenda right now.
A what?
Words of apology. I lost a lot of respect.
No. All right, so nobody's gonna comment on that. Fine.
Well, it's like I said last night, we should get Drill Miller in front of ESPN Mag doing naked shoots.
It's like it was like the debate, Sasquatch, Bigfoot. What does is his penis like a human one or like a dog? Like the Red Rocket thing.
Oh man.
Short, stubby.
Yeah, Don Flamenco in the chat says short and stubby. He agrees. I mean, why not?
Long finger, short, stubby. Don Flamenco.
Well, I will say this.
As if in a slow motion, not impressed at all, says Boxing Fairy Tale.
Listen.
And he looks like he has T-Rex arms because he's not proportional. His arms are a bit shorter than what they should be, and so he looks like a T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of
Butterbean, man.
Yeah, but point. His reach is like 74 inches. I checked it a couple of minutes ago. In fact,
okay.
But yeah, it's true. His arms are so, or his biceps are so huge that it looks like he has a T-Rex arms. And by the way, his body build reminds me kind of David Tua, only a bigger version. And yeah, he has that crazy upper body size.
I could almost guarantee it with Baby Miller when he used to. I want to get off this shit already. We talking way too long. I'm not getting.
Are you thinking about Baby Miller's cock now? What the hell, man?
His reach is 78, man.
Yeah, well, he's 6. Okay, so he's 6'4", 78.
Should be 80.
Reach. That's pretty normal.
No, should be 82 or something.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. Jack says you got a great big cock.
Have you not noticed that Baby Miller's been the main topic of the last 2 podcasts?
Yeah.
This is a giant cock.
What? I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. Jack says you got a great big cock.
This is getting homosexual now. Borderline homosexual.
That's the way we got to
Baby Miller's cock. It's even worse.
Yeah.
All right, listen. So, in fact, people, like Reckon I said, people are tired of talking about Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I think this is the only show on YouTube where you're going to get this much Jarrell Big Baby Miller talk. And if Baby Miller was smart, I'll just say this one last thing. He should play up the Big Baby act to its full conclusion. Just go into the ring, no trunks, just a diaper, and have like a brown stain.
Don't Flamenco in the chat says boxing is a game of inches.
Well,
listen, they want to go the whole way, right? But if Baby Miller wants to go the whole way, Baby Miller should get milk bottles and fill them up with water and have them in between rounds out of milk bottles. He wants to do the whole persona thing.
Well, listen, Stack Those Bananas in the chat says, BDA, let it slip. This is a second Renaissance podcast talking Baby Miller's chode for 2 hours straight, but it was privated. I have proof. That you said you weren't going to mention that, Stack. So you're not going to go back to... we can't let you back into second Renaissance now that you're dropping secrets. But listen.
Overhand in the chat says, laugh my ass off, just realised I've been talking way too much Miller at Cameron Gillon. Yeah, we have, man. We've been talking about Joe Miller for about an hour on the last 2 podcasts.
Well, it's a heavyweight division, man. It's
But we started talking about his potential cock size now, man. Like that's probably a sign of we need to move on.
Well, listen, I raised a good point. Nobody wanted to answer it, except people in the chat room. God bless them. They always have my back. You motherfuckers, on the other hand, every time I ask a question, oh yeah, let's talk about something else. Oh fuck you, BDA. Let's talk about something else. Well, you know what? I've had it. I'm gonna start putting my foot down now on this show.
Well, talk about Big Baby's cock instead.
Nobody wants to talk about it. Now you're patronizing me, Cameron. Listen, this was a good show. By the way,
you bring him on the show like Cameron said and go like, yeah, hey, how big's your cock?
Just one last question before we go. What's taking place next week? Is there any boxing next week? Oh yeah,
there's Crawford against Diaz.
I didn't
Benavides.
That's when Butcher has fucking butchered that one right there. You know it's bad. None of us even knew. I didn't realize Crawford was fighting next weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares.
It's because he's fighting another scrub, another C-level guy for the resume.
This may be worse than Adamek.
It
might be.
No.
No, Jose Benavides. The Crawford, I understand, right? The Crawford, it's his first defense at 147, but this guy, it's bad when this guy's arguably pound number 1 and nobody even realizes he's fighting next weekend. That's when it's a bad fight.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Benavides. Was that?
He's not pound for pound either.
Oh, come on, listen. We're not going to get into that. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. But yeah, it's a bad matchup. I mean, Benavides is the guy. Maybe he improved since he should have lost against Herrera. Yeah, maybe he's improved. But Terence Crawford.
Who's he actually beat, Benavides?
I don't know, man.
Exactly. Why was he even getting this shot? Because they had a bit of beef when Benavides was fighting in that arena and Crawford was like, let's go outside and sort that out.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand the dislike from Spence fans towards Terence Crawford. I don't get that. It's weird.
Oh no! That wasn't shade because of Spence. I just don't think he's.
I'm not saying you. No, I'm not saying you, Trav.
No, I understand.
I think you are.
I understand, and it's easy to explain here. You see, Spence Jr. Okay, he's not with a Jew promoter.
Oh, wait a minute.
Does anybody else realize that when Crawford moves up in weight, when he's first making his first title defenses, he actually drags people up from the weight below?
A Jew promoter. Butchers. Alright, sorry.
I don't condone any of this talk. I don't know what these guys are talking about right now.
Neither do I, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on right now.
Oh, please, man. You don't. You know damn well what's going on here.
I don't, man. I'm talking about Crawford. I'm talking about Crawford. You guys are talking about something else. What the fuck?
Trap knows who has the real privilege.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about Crawford. You guys talking about something else. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Okay, who do you want Crawford to fight? He's with Top Rank. Who is he gonna fight?
Well, no, I don't care.
It's nobody over there but Skrill.
Exactly.
I don't care, man. Bob Arum said that he's willing to put Crawford in there with PBC guys. So he said that. Make a fight. Stop fighting these guys. Benavidez, look.
But no.
Crawford's literally every time he moves up in weight, his first few fights are against guys getting dragged up in weight. Bob Arum's come out and said, "Look, we'll make the fight with PBC guys. We want Crawford to fight the best. Well, fucking Benavidez ain't the best. Far from the best. He's not even a welterweight.
I think
there's nobody over there. That's what I keep saying. I got into it with his sister about it. She think I'm just a Crawford hater. All I'm saying is you signed a contract and you moved up to a division where everybody is on the other side. You cannot build your legacy like that. And even down before, it was like I say, what he did was like for point guard beat Collison, Mike Conley, and Kyle Lowry. We're not gonna say you're the best point guard. No.
Wait a minute. Did you just say
Steph Curry?
BDA doesn't know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
No, but the chat gets it. You still have to go see the top guys, is what I'm saying. But
you're
there's nobody over there. Who outside of Benavidez? Who else is there? Who else? We don't even know.
I agree with you. But did you just say
the worst point guard right now?
Hold on, Trap. I agree with you. There's somebody at top rank. But did you just say you were arguing about boxing with a woman?
No. Why are you wasting your time?
We're used to that. We're used to that. Boxing style comes in here quite enough.
Yeah.
Boxing style.
Yeah, you know, you talk a big game. You talk a big game, Cameron. Yeah, you talk a big game, Cameron, when he's not here. But then when he shows up, all of a sudden
they go at each other. They go.
Yeah,
even when he's here, man. That guy, when he comes on, man, that guy never knows it. That guy interrupts everybody. Then he hates it when people. That guy's a fucking.
Boxing style goes.
Hey, say what you want about boxing style.
Boxing style goes after Cameron.
Hey, boxing style got a. By the way, boxing style got his prediction correct. He said Khabib by submission.
Yeah, but Khabib also thought. Yeah, but boxing style also thought Vargas would go 12 rounds with Golovkin. So let's not go into that.
Yeah, that kind of doesn't. Yeah.
You know, every once in a while you get some wrong. It happens.
Look, I took a dump this morning, and there was more boxing knowledge in that dump than there is in boxing style's brain.
Come on. Now you're getting a little bit out of hand here. You're getting a bit out of hand, Cameron.
Hold on.
Boxing style, you gonna let him get away with that?
I don't know if Cameron hates boxing style more than Baby Miller. It's between the two. I don't know.
I don't hate Big Baby Miller. I don't hate boxing.
You do, man. Just say it.
I just think boxing style is a bit of a. I don't know, man. I think the guy's a bit of a clown. That's all.
But hold on, I want to get.
I guarantee the wallpaper on his laptop is Big Baby Miller.
Look, Baby Miller, right? I like Baby Miller. I think he's a funny guy. I said this earlier on, man. I was just having a bit of a laugh about it. But no, I like boxing. I like Big Baby Miller. I just think boxing style annoys me for some reason.
What do you mean? Funny
it's over.
Like funny, like the way he talks. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's over.
Charismatic, and he's funny. He's a good character in the division.
Oh, boxing style.
I don't know what you said. You said
he's in the chat room. Hold on. Boxing style's in the chat room. He says, "I'll finish that Cameron slot next time. He's my side piece."
Boxing style. What boxing style needs to realize is that the guy literally comes on it. He comes on. He doesn't. And this is the thing with boxing style. He'll sit there and be like, "Look, let me finish my piece. And then you can talk." As soon as somebody else talks, it was happening in the studio today. As soon as you talk, he's like interrupting, like, "Fuck that guy, man." Look, you just need to sit down, eat your cereal.
Let me finish, Cameron. Let me finish.
As soon as you start talking,
let me talk. I know.
All right. Can I say something?
Sure.
Can I say something? Can I say something? Wait, hold on. I want to say something. Hold on. I want to say something. Recognize is proving to be the underrated master of impressions here at BDA Boxing because he's got.
I'm telling you, I know how to do trap media too. I can do trap media.
Go ahead.
Well, hold on. Boxing style in the chat says, "I'll choke you in a bowl of cereal."
Oh,
bring it. Come on.
Boxing style wants to choke me because. Would you say recognize?
Right.
No,
recognize.
He said he wanted to do that to you. I thought he said that.
Yeah, probably.
I thought you meant bring it. What the fuck?
No. I said, well, you can bring it too, Cameron, if you want. Let's go.
No, boxing style. Somebody in the chat earlier on said boxing style go on the show, and I said, please, for love of God, don't. And he said, no, I'm busy. I went, hallelujah. Please don't come on his fucking show.
Hey, Stack Those Bananas gave us a good idea. He says Jimmy versus ElDude, and we can have Cameron versus Boxing Style. And Recognize versus Low Place.
Recognize versus Low Place being the
what happened to you? Jesse Vargas was depleted when he fought.
All right, listen. Hold on. Recognize. I'm probably gonna regret this, but do an impression of Mr. BDA himself.
Wait a minute.
My Hamed.
Oh, that was funny as fuck.
I will not allow anybody to make fun of my Hamid.
Yeah, you're trying to do you gotta do it more like people say it sound like Vladimir Klitschko, so you gotta try to do a Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah, I gotta work on that. There's certain people that I gotta work on.
Can you do an impression of Hamed?
What is this? Whoa, is that recognized? I don't understand. How is X coming on the microphone like that? I don't understand.
Recognize. I'd ask you to do an impression of Boxing Style, but I'm not sure how voice should go because then he sounds like a woman.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I just want to finish here. Yeah, okay, I know BDA. This is your show, I understand. Let me finish.
It's laughing like that, man.
Yeah. Sunday night prayer is what you're going to need, Cameron. Listen, Boxing Style, I'm all good, man. Look. I have the time of my life when I'm on a show. When I come on a show, I'm relaxed when you're not on it because I think, I can say something about you interrupting 2 seconds into what I'm going to say. It's all good, you know what I mean? Like Stu said the other day, man. He was going on it. I was in the chat after, man. That nobody wants you. Nobody cares about your opinion. You had Vargas going the distance with Golovkin, man. What the fuck are you on?
We're going to keep bringing that up all the time. I mean, listen, I got to defend Boxing Style. I know, but I gotta defend Boxing Style because he's got those Armenian genetics, so he's probably still shell-shocked about what happened during the Armenian genocide. So you gotta give him a little credit. Come on, man. I'm gonna defend him. I'm gonna defend him on this one.
This is BDA logic right here. Go ahead, BDA.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, listen, somebody's gotta stand up for him. Because it's not fair that you guys are making fun of him and he's not here to defend him.
He talks enough. He doesn't need somebody to talk for him. He talks enough as it is.
You will not talk about my boxing styles like that.
Why does somebody stand up for Boxing Style? He talks enough as it is.
You're upset. Okay, now listen. Do you think it would work if somehow you... No, actually, because it's you, Stu, against Boxing Style. All right, so yeah. Boxing Style, myself, against you and Stu. So the Brits versus the Armenian and the Mexican.
I've got no beef for you, BDA, so...
No, but we'll make some beef then.
All right, then. Shit. Fuck you, BDA.
All right, there you go.
Just side with
Wait, I just took my headphones off for a second, right? So I don't know what you guys were talking about. All I hear is "fuck you, BDA."
BDA told me to make some beef with him, so that was my way of making beef with him.
Yeah. Now we gotta find something we disagree on, so we can do this.
Well, we can disagree on the fact that you want to talk about Drummond's cock size and I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Listen, hold on a second. I asked one question about whether he's got a stubby cock.
Let me finish.
Nobody answered.
I can give you the answer to that. Let me finish.
Okay, come on, man. You gotta keep doing the Boxing Style impression. All right, so far we got the Boxing Style impression. We got the ElDude, Hamed.
What about me? Can you impersonate me?
I don't want to watch the fight. The fight was garbage, and I can't believe we can't be fucking talking about big baby Miller. Like, fuck sakes, man.
I can just see Recognize hanging out with a bunch of guys in the corner of a sidewalk, and he's the guy that's making fun of everybody in the gang.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I want to do a bit of X.
I could do X.
I just say bitch ass nigga. That's a lie.
Bitch ass nigga. You see?
That's a pretty good impression.
X, man. Jesus.
Yeah, that sounds like cheese.
I'm telling you, I'm good. I'm really good at it.
The master of impressions. I'll do a Butcher impression. I
could do one.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It doesn't make sense. The PBC is fucking garbage, and
it's always about the PBC. It's true.
I don't want to fucking talk about it. I mean, listen. Recognize, me and you have talked about this for a long time already. It's been 30 minutes. Let's move on.
All right, do Jimmy.
On cocaine or something.
Boxing Style in the chat says, Get that homosexual Cameron Diaz out there. That's the worst ban I've ever seen. Go eat your cereal. That's the only thing
Let me finish, Cameron. Okay. Your name is Cameron. There's a Cameron Diaz in America. So I call you Cameron Diaz. That's
Jimmy.
You get what I'm saying?
Do Jimmy.
Let me finish.
Do a Jimmy impression.
The Jimmy impression.
Jimmy's oh man.
That's
Come on, the Boston accent.
Okay, because he's from so he's from Boston.
The Boston
right?
accent, man.
Yeah, do the Boston accent.
That fucking guy's got a lot of heart. Got a lot of heart.
I can try and do one too. I can try and do one, like when he says, like, this guy, he was just so strong. And the thing about Floyd, fuck, it's not working out. But that's what he does. He sometimes
I'll tell you what I like doing, right? It's corruption. When it comes in, he's like, Joseph Parker showed that he has a lot of.
Do it again. Wait, do it again.
That question, because I've said it numerous times in the chat. He comes and he goes, I thought Joseph Parker done an excellent job of initiating the jab before loading up on the right hand. He talks like very slow, very, I mean, it takes about an hour for him to get a 10 sort of 1 minute sentence out. No disrespect. But there's been numerous times where I've generally jumped off the podcast because that guy just keeps talking. No disrespect, Cameron, you know what I mean? I'm just saying what it is.
I like how Cameron always insults people, and then he goes at the end, no disrespect. After he just completely decimated somebody. But that was a good impression. That was a pretty good impression.
Somebody left.
Yeah, it was Trap.
Oh yeah, Trap.
Trap only comes on to talk about Gerald Miller now, and he jumps off. No disrespect.
Yeah, again, no disrespect. You motherfucker.
Trap's a little hard. I'll try my best on this one.
You gotta sound like you're high. Because he does sound like he's.
It is. It's like a little.
So big baby.
I'm just saying, man. Big baby Miller, man. Like give the man some cartoon gigs. Maybe a sponsorship from. He gets sponsored by McDonald's. Nah, I can't do it, man.
As soon as you come on it, he's like, y'all hating on Big Baby.
Hey, in the chat, Stack those bananas says, don't forget about Stu. Yeah, it's true. I was
Oh, for Christ's sakes, recognize.
Oh, I think Cameron can do it better. Because he's got the British accent.
Yeah, you could do it. I think Cameron
can
do it better.
Like, Stu cracks me. I'm trying to think of something that Stu says. It's like,
let's be real.
Yeah,
you got to start by saying, let's be real.
Yeah, he does say that quite a lot. I'm just trying to think of something that Stu says that he says quite a lot.
Let's be real. Right? Boxing style. You pick fucking Von Ness to go 12 rounds with Triple G. So I think that when it comes to not knowing boxing, I fucked that up. I can't even do this.
It's hard. The British accent is hard, man.
Yeah.
The only British accent I got down packed is my man Ali G. Stu's
the best one. Stu's always like, what's that noise in the background? I recognise he's doing the dishes again or something.
No, the best one was when Stu lost his mind. When fucking Boxing Style dropped like.
Oh yeah.
He dropped the whole closet on him. That shit was. What the fuck is going on here? Just mute the fucking button.
Stu cracks on it within the background. It's like, how many times do we need to tell people to mute their mics?
Hey, if it wasn't for him,
I can see this is gonna work out perfectly. You trying to sell BDA podcast with fucking Boxing Style, knocking things down.
Oh yeah, that's a new type of entertainment. Listen, Boxing Style, he does that thing where I think Bucho had it right. He said, I think what he does is he has his laptop on the other side of the room while he's laying in bed. And so he screams at the laptop from the other side of the room. That's why I think maybe he doesn't hear it very well. And that's why maybe he's doing the chores and everything. I don't know. I'd have to ask him. Yeah, Stack Those Bananas says, Boxing Style ASMR.
You guys know what he said? Reckless, watch out. Have you not clocked my rip-off profile picture of you?
You what?
Look at my profile picture on the Hangouts. You not clocked that I've basically done a rip-off of your photo.
Oh,
I thought somebody noticed this.
That's true. I just noticed it now that you mentioned it.
I literally
What
did
the fuck?
Have you not seen? Look at my picture and look at recognises. I purposely did a rip-off picture of his to try and see if people would recognise. No pun intended. That I actually did a rip-off of his picture and actually tried to make one look like his just for the fun of it. So nobody even realised that. Look at the pictures.
Are you making fun of him?
Yeah. He looks like me with hair. Yeah.
I look like you 20 years ago.
20 years ago, just about. Yeah.
Now I don't appreciate that.
My hair was just like that.
Yeah, I got a hat on.
It was a glorious day. It was a glorious day when my hair used to flow.
You look a little bit like James DeGill.
I've got the Cuban perm gun on. I mean, that's why I got my hat on.
Let me tell you something.
Didn't Stu say that Recognize looked like Antonio Banderas with the long hair?
You said that about Cameron. He said,
no, really? I thought
it looks like fucking Antonio Banderas.
Like a young Antonio Banderas.
Boxing styles.
No, he said that about me.
Yeah, he said about you. Yeah.
He did.
Boxing styles. The chat said, "I'm going to slaughter Stu next time." Boxing style. The only thing you're slaughtering is your boxing predictions.
Oh.
That's the only thing you're
I mean, no disrespect, right?
Boxing style responds. Ready? Let me finish.
Okay.
Boxing styles.
I gotta defend boxing style. The reason why I think he makes all that noise is because he was in the military. He was in the military. He was in Iraq.
He makes all that noise because he knows that as soon as he opens his mouth, a lot of uneducated.
He feels at home.
Yeah, exactly. Because he used to be in Iraq, and so he can't live without the constant pressure and noise. Explosions going on. So that's why he's making noise all the time because he feels back. He wants to get back in the sand and kick a little ass, get the job done. So that's what I'm defending him.
I've noticed that whenever BDA brings boxing style in, that's when he starts making noise. He thinks, "Oh shit, BDA wants me to talk about boxing. I don't know shit about boxing." So he's just throwing the fucking shit.
Let me finish. Cameron, you're an asshole. You're gay. You got AIDS. You suck. You're Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz from America.
Boxing style.
Let me finish.
No. He's saying in the chat, "I'm banging Cameron's mum." Listen, man, my mum could offer my mum the sort of paycheck that Floyd Mayweather got for fighting Conor McGregor, and she still wouldn't take one look at your fucking ass, mate. Let me tell you that. You can put as many checks you want, man, on that fucking chair. It wouldn't take one look at you, man. Seeing as the fact you've never had sex in your life, for one.
Let me tell you something. Every time I want boxing style on the show, he can't make it. Boxing style. Next time you come on, I want to address this thing right now, right away. Whatever we're talking about next episode, I don't care what it is. If Cameron and Boxing Style are on the same show, I want to get right back to it. All right?
Yeah, them two together, you guarantee you're gonna get a nice fight on.
No, we're not. Because I won't get a word things. He won't let me. So be talking about all sorts of.
No, if you let me finish.
How did this start anyway? How did this whole thing start?
Boxing style a while ago. Boxing style going in on me, and that Recognize will back me up. Boxing style just randomly started going in on me for absolutely no reason, and then it's been going on since.
Yeah, he did. Well, he assaulted him a little bit, just a little bit. Boxing.
You insulted him a little bit.
But he wouldn't stop, man. The guy's obsessed with me. He's probably jealous I get pussy all the time and he doesn't. I don't know what it is.
My goodness gracious.
I love it.
All right.
Hey, Recognize.
Yeah.
Blood Boxing is in the chat again. $1 billion.
What up, Blood? What's up, my brother, Blood? That's my brother right there. Me and him, we kind of look alike.
Wait, who's Boxing Blood?
No, overhand in the chat. Overhand in the chat says boxing styles. Overhand in the chat says boxing's always ready for war. Well, he's not ready for war. He's not on the fucking show tonight, is he? He's not always ready for war.
All right, now wait a minute. And by the way, Precise in the chat says BDA wants drama. That's the last thing I want on this show. I want to stick to boxing.
Kids are watching this show, right? BDA
that's right.
And
but listen,
the kids. Come on, it's for the kids. You know the kids, the little kids.
There could be a 3-year-old listening with his dad to this show, like Chuck.
Listen, everybody knows.
What if a 9-year-old was listening to this? What if a 9-year-old?
What was that woman in the chat? Who is it? That woman and her parents' son in the chat a while ago. Who was their name?
Yeah. She sent a letter or something. An email. An email.
Was it like little someone, wasn't it?
No, Dominic.
It's called something MILF.
It was concerned MILF. Concerned MILF.
Yeah. Oh yeah, concerned MILF.
And her kid's name was Lil Dominic, and the guy was like 22 years old or something.
If she's listening, if you're concerned, if you're listening, you're single, I'll shag you, and I'll become Little Dominic's stepdad.
I'll shag you in front of Little Dominic.
She sent me she sent us a photograph of, and I can't put it. I wish I could show it to you guys, but man,
Come on,
she
put it up there.
I can't, man. I can't. But she looks like she's down to,
yeah.
You know.
Is she the kind of MILF that I think she is in my head?
Well, I'll just say this.
Shepherd's son says Little Dominic was 19. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was like 20 something or something.
First of all, he wasn't a baby. He was 19.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then he came onto the chat room once before his mom caught him, and he said that like, oh, my mom, you know, she always has you know, male friends coming over, and they make me go to the basement. Well, I didn't want to say that.
I'm being honest with you. I love his mother. Whoever his mother is, I love that woman.
If she's into, you know, seeing about a lot of blokes, maybe ask her, you know, maybe hit her up an email video and see if she's willing to take boxing styles for Ginny after all these years.
Okay, listen, you gotta get off boxing style. You gotta get off boxing styles. This case, man. Come on, this is going too far. I'm starting to get uncomfortable here with all this hate. This is supposed to be a show. You know, BDA is all about, the show is all about peace and love. That's what we do here, and you're ruining
there's been a lot
that,
of that over this year, and there's never been any conflicts on this show ever.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, concerned MILF, she said she wanted to intern at the BDA headquarters, and this is what she sent us. This is what she said during the interview, which I thought was pretty bizarre.
I'm gonna get some cock this morning because I didn't have any breakfast.
Okay, come on. See, that's I don't understand what. That's right. But
Dominic,
again,
she sounds kind of young.
Well, she's one of those young
Dominic's actually
MILFs.
the middle name of Cameron, says Boxing Style.
Oh.
What the fuck you on about, man?
Listen,
man. That was weird. Listen, fuck Boxing Style. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I think we got that.
I think our ex hates Boxing Style as
yeah, it's because I don't blame it. A lot of people hate Boxing Style, man. A lot of people hate Boxing Style.
I like him.
No, that's not true.
I like him.
Yeah, he brings entertainment to the show. Well, actually, I'd say though, the only thing he does bring to the show is smashing plates about. But other than that, you know, he is fun to have on the show. He doesn't really say much. He doesn't really give any educated insight on boxing, but he does bring a lot of smash plate dishes.
Hey, you know what? Sorry, last clip here. Last clip. Little Dominic, this is what he told me about his mother. Because I asked him about his mother, and this is what he said.
You can come on her, fuck her in the mouth, fuck her in the ass, come on her face, man.
Oh my god, I mean, listen, if you're talking about like that about your mother, yeesh.
That's right, you've done a bad job when your own son talks about you like that.
Oh, we got more clips of
He doesn't get any fucking pussy himself. He has to talk about his fucking incest mum. Now, but no seriousness, you know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Jesus Christ. Cameron, take it
Fuck my ass. Fuck my ass. Come on my face.
My god, Jesus Christ. This show is getting out of hand. Real out of hand, and I don't like it. All right.
Stactos Banana said BDA fake taxi hasn't been caught in Canada. That's an idea. So let's start a fake taxi thing.
Right. Why not, man? Listen, this whole thing.
Isn't Stu the guy from Fake Taxi though?
First of all, do they have Fake Taxi?
His voice sounds very similar.
Do they have Fake Taxi in England?
The UK, yeah, that's where it started, no?
Okay, I think you're confusing Fake Taxi with.
Saying Cameron put in no punches, man. Yeah, man, it's pretty funny though. Enjoying it, man. No disrespect to Boxing Style.
All right, that's enough. I've had it. We're gonna move on, guys. We gotta end this show. It ended on a very low note. I gotta say, I'm disappointed in you guys with all this negativity. It reminded me of what happened last night between Khabib and McGregor. That's how disappointed I am in you guys. Like this was this type of debacle. I didn't like it.
This is BDA's version of Khabib McGregor.
That's right. And somebody's gonna listen, kids are watching, and I think we're gonna have to suspend some of you guys. Suspend some of you.
Fines are gonna be put in place.
Yeah, Cameron by insulting Boxing Style, and recognized by disrespecting everybody with those unfunny impressions. Like, that's not funny, man. You shouldn't make fun of people like that.
You disrespecting men as cock size, though.
No, I didn't. I asked about how big his cock was, and nobody wanted to talk about it. So you guys disrespected. Again, that's strike number 3. You disrespected Baby Miller by refusing to give him credit for his large but short cock. And I gotta say, I'm disappointed. All right? So listen, I want to thank you, Cameron. I want to thank Recognize, who just left before I could punish him. I want to thank also... Hold on a second here. I got my list.
Have I got to go in front of the Nevada Athletic State Commission for punishment tomorrow morning?
All right. I want to thank Official Scorecard Boxing as well, who was here. I thought he was going to go to bed early, he said. But he stuck it.
Yeah.
You stuck it through, my man.
You look like Scott Quigg, man. I'm telling you, like, that is Scott Quigg in your picture.
Yeah.
It looks like Scott Quigg, man, like, on the first angle, like.
Yeah,
a bigger version of Scott Quigg, anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, I want to thank Recognize, I want to thank Cameron, I want to thank Official Scorecard Boxing, I want to thank Trap Media, who was here as well, Precise, who made a cameo, also King Bucho, of course, my co-host. Who else was here, Bucho? Remind me so I don't forget.
Precise.
I already thanked him.
Trap.
Trap, I already thanked him. Anyway, you guys know who you are.
Oh wait, no, you didn't have the balls to do it. Anyway,
No. That's it. It's over. I'm ending this right now before you can get another insult.
What about the Shepherd of Sun's comment though?
Shepherd of Sun says,
style maybe more tears than Miller now. Revenge of Boxing Style next episode of BDA.
Oh,
yeah. He's gonna get his revenge.
Boxing gonna get his revenge, I'm sure.
He's gonna try, yeah. He's not one of those. He's not like those Armenians.
Like Conor McGregor says, don't come at the king Boxing Style. You started this.
Oh, all right.
All right.
So listen, guys,
hey,
thanks
BDA,
a lot.
I have a list of people that we should thank, I guess.
Please.
All right, we have Patreon supporters. Thank you. Apology Man, Brandon White, Chris Gonzalez, Greg, the Great Carl, Pete Stamas, The Punisher. Some of the latest. Hold on, the super chatters. I'm trying to make this quick, man, but.
Are you not entertained?
All right, we have Graham Lanson, we have Kyle, Undercover Asian, Stack Those Bananas, ElDude donated recently, G Boogie, Steven Schneider, of course, John Gonzalez, The Quacks, Michael Polanco, and See Me, Foulpole Boxing, and Michael Stock.
Well, there you go, guys. Thanks. That's right. Thank you for your support. We always appreciate it. Bucho, you got to step it up the next time you read that list.
Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.
All right, listen. No, that was good. That was good. You got through it quick. And again, thanks for everybody who's been donating. Thanks to everybody who's been participating in the Hangouts. Like I said, thanks to Cameron, to Trap, to Recognize, to Official Scorecard Boxing, to Precise. You guys make this show 2 times as entertaining as it should normally be. I also want to thank everybody that was watching and listening. I want to thank... Hold on a second here. Let me go through the list, because we do have to give a shout out to everybody. Of course, Precise was in the chat room as well. The Fight Scout, Neto. The Fight Scout, Quincy Pinola, Overhand, The Shepherd of Sons, Stack Those Bananas, Violence News Network. Who else? Virtuoso. The Boxing Junkie, who is back. Shout out to Boxing Junkie. Trap Media was also in the chat room. Boxing Style, of course, can't forget Boxing Style. Taking his licks and giving some back. Don Flamenco. Who else do we have? Many more. Many more. So guys, thanks for... Oh, the Punisher came in late as well. So guys, thanks a lot. You know, guys, Stack Those Bananas, I already said. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, whatever's left. And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.